Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Morning Glow got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning. But before we go another step further, take another iota of a step, I got to say good morning to Captain Leonard. Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem.
Hey, man, I'm just as silly as they could be. Leonard, how was your day yesterday, brother?
It's all right. I love these days. My favorite season is
Yes, sir.
fall,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
so
And
I enjoy it, man.
man, I'm gonna tell you what my prayer is, Leonard, and I hope you pray with me on this right here, brother.
Uh-huh.
I hope that 21 is better than 20 was, man,
Oh, it probably will be.
because 20 came in with some stuff. Everybody talking about, 2020, the perfect patient, and I can't wait. It's gonna be, yeah. A lot of y'all eyes was really open in 2020. A lot, a lot of people's eyes was really open. And what do you say to that, man? A lot of people's eyes was open to a lot of things.
It should still be. Everybody's 2020 wasn't bad.
Hmm.
We had the pandemic, but then again, a lot of times you get used. There's other things that have happened that can ruin a year.
Hmm. Yeah. Mm.
Folks been getting sick.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Mhm.
it did definitely probably put a hold on a lot of plans,
Yeah.
but you
Yeah.
just reschedule them.
Exactly. And and
Yeah.
and, and see, it put a big dent in what we're doing over here on the television side as well, man.
Hmm.
Do the television side, but we can't subject people, though, and we could have done it. We could have went head on and done it. But my thing is, you don't want to subject people to a situation where they can be ill.
Yeah, not if things that you can avoid, you should.
Yeah.
If you can.
Hmm.
What that saying is a ounce of prevention
Come on.
beats
Come
a
on.
pound of cure.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's where we are, man. So my thing is, and I was looking at the news this morning. I was looking at the news this morning. There we go. I was looking at the news this morning, man, and they was talking about how we're at the final phases, and one of the things that gave me a little confidence is that it came from bottoms. It didn't come from that governor. What you talking about? That coronavirus. What his name is? Yeah, Kemp. It didn't come from him because I know he's in a situation where he's gonna do. He's a puppet, man. Whatever Trump tell him to do, that's what he's going to do.
Oh
Hate to say,
yeah.
hate to put it down on him like that, but the truth of the matter is, whatever Trump tell him to do, that's what that joker gonna do, man. Without a shadow.
Yeah.
But if it came from Lance Bottoms because she fought was about to get sued by the governor
Hmm.
because she wouldn't bow down. That's why I love that sister, man.
And that's why I encouraged people to support her
Mm-hmm.
because black women stand up.
Exactly. She would not bow down to any of the foolishness, and
No,
if you're gonna sue me, go ahead, do what you gotta do.
do what you got to do.
Exactly, and
We'll
and that,
deal with it.
yeah,
And she was diagnosed with COVID.
yeah, exactly. Her family, and everybody, and so she know what it's like, man. She know what it's like to go through that thing, and she's not willing to subject anybody else to what she had to go through, man. This COVID situation, man. I pray I never get or nobody close to me get. I pray nobody get it actually.
I know many who have.
Yeah. But my thing is, man, from what they say about it, man, it's nothing to play with, bro. And
No.
then you and just look at the numbers, Leonard. Just look at the number. And Curtis, we're gonna get to you in just 1 second, but look at the numbers, man. 200,000 people in the United States, more than any other in any other country or continent or whatever you want to say. 200,000 people has died from this thing, man. And you got
Yeah.
a and you got a president in office talking about I didn't wanna what's that word he used? Panic the people. I didn't want to panic the people. Come on, man. You're
I,
supposed to
I've been panicked since they announced he won the election.
yeah, exactly. So ain't no more panic going on. Just tell me the truth.
Mm-mm. No,
But
I
see,
mean, you have to keep it in that perspective, man. It's
mm,
what are you going to do about it? You
yeah,
got everybody so upset and so mad. Well, one, you should have been mad before because
hmm,
you've seen certain things over and over. You know
yeah,
the type of people that run that city.
hmm,
You have an attorney general who ain't worth a damn,
hmm.
and he
Oh,
walking around
hey, get
and
ready.
he walking around with your skin color on.
Yeah,
That's a shame.
Now and you're absolutely right. But I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna switch the conversation with Curtis just a little bit. Curtis, good morning. So how you doing this morning?
Big bros, what's up, L Buggy?
What's
What's
my
going
man?
on,
What's up,
baby?
Kurt? Good morning, Kurt.
Now, Kurt. Now, this situation that happened with Brianna. Who was the one that was the attorney general, whoever that was speaking, the person that looked like you? They were trying to pacify this thing. Curtis, tell us a little bit about that.
That's the Attorney General. That's Cameron. His name is Cameron. I can't remember his last name, or his last name might be Cameron. Can't remember his first name, but Cameron is his name.
Mm-hmm.
He spoke at the RNC convention, and D.L. Hughley said it best. When he spoke at that RNC convention, he basically told us exactly what he was going to do.
Exactly.
We might have wanted to look it off, but here's what I'm saying. Hey, brother, you know, this whole thing stank to high heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, it smells so bad. God done put stoppers in his nose, man. Well, let me just run some. Let me just throw something out here. Where the NRA at, man?
Come on.
You telling me where all these people at that like to stand up, that really like to stand? Let me take my tone back now. Where's all these people at that really like to stand up for a person's right to protect themselves?
Mm-hmm.
Where's all these people at, man? Oh, that only applies. So the pattern of behavior shows me that only applies when it's white.
Come on.
I'm just gonna call a spade, man. Like,
you might as well tell the truth, Kurt, because that's what it is. Why would we sit here and continue to lie and make excuses for individuals who obviously serve the devil?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Listen, I'm not lying. Listen, man, listen, man. This is my own personal opinion. I could be wrong, and if I'm right, they might come and get me later. But it's okay. I done made my amends with God.
Mm-hmm.
Look, man. The dude that they were supposed to be coming to get wasn't even there. He was locked up.
Yeah.
Now you the police and you don't know that this dude is locked up.
Mm-hmm.
You the police and you don't know this dude is locked up.
Come on.
Okay, that's number one. Number two, you get a no-knock warrant to hit the door. Looking for somebody who ain't even there.
Come on.
Who in your custody.
Mm-hmm.
Man, listen, man. I saw Training Day. If you remember Training Day when he went to Macy Gray house.
Yes.
Come on, man. You know what it is.
He hit the door.
Mm-hmm.
He went in and took the money.
Yep.
I don't care what nobody say, man. Listen, man. This whole what it's called something immunity. Qualified immunity?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It's
a license to kill.
Should no person with any job that has any kind of phrase that says protect and serve, any job where you are authorized to not only bear arms, but use those arms at your discretion.
Come on.
The moral thing to do is to not allow or not have in place a qualified immunity clause.
Mm-hmm.
That don't make sense.
Yes, it does make sense. Now, you said more, you can't expect immoral people to do moral things first. But that law works exactly the way it's supposed to.
Mute your line, Curtis.
It was created to allow white folks to kill black people indiscriminately.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that law was for.
Oh, Leonard, you need to stop. I get that part.
You just had a black officer sentenced to about 13 years in prison for using the same concept. But see, he was black and the victim happened to be white. Mm-hmm. The victim aggressed the police and ran up on the police.
Mm-hmm.
See how that looks different?
That's my point exactly. My point.
Exactly.
If I'm okay, let me break it down to the very last compound. So, if I'm a drug dealer and you tell me that I can sell as many drugs as I want to, but I have to I have to investigate myself, I have to investigate myself, arrest myself, prosecute myself, and I can be the judge, I can be the investigator, the prosecutor, the judge, and the jury. Do you ever think I'll spend a day in prison?
Never.
No, that's why they do what they do, because they know they can act in such a way and escape punishment. I can guarantee you, no police chief or sheriff have went out and told their police officers not to kill unarmed citizens. I guarantee it.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to do it because this is what they love to do.
Mm-hmm. Let me do this.
Here's the final thing.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the last thing, Raheem. Let me get this out here. Where are all them people at that fought against the nurses union, the teachers union, the warehouse union, the food workers union, the steel union? Where are all them folk at that spoke against those unions? Why is it that the police union get a free pass? You don't never hear them speak against the police union. Here it is in New Jersey right now, man. It hit the news quick, and as fast as it came on, that's how fast it went off, and it never came back on. Do you know there was a police in New Jersey, and what we would call, if it was South Carolina, Raheem, we'd call it the Midlands.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
There was a police in New Jersey. Guess what his salary was, Raheem, for the year?
What's that?
$250,000, bro.
Police officer.
$250,000, bro. Was his salary for the year. Raheem, where I deliver at right now, man, I deliver in a community. I looked up the houses in the community because the houses look nice, Raheem. Raheem, these houses is $500,000, $600,000.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot bend a corner, and it's not at least 2 to 3 police officers in every single cul-de-sac. Where are they making that kind of money at, Raheem? Where are they making that kind of money at, Raheem?
Mm-hmm. You tell me, brother, because I don't know.
I can tell you how they making it.
I'm just saying, man, that whole gang is, man, ain't but a gang, man.
Mm-hmm. Organized crime.
Man.
Yeah, exactly. Let me go
And I respect those that's doing it right.
Exactly. Hold for a second there, Curtis. Let me go. We got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Good morning, Glow family.
Good morning, Miss Chris.
How are y'all today?
Good, doing good. Sis, how you doing this morning? How you doing this morning?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm doing good. Trying to roll up out this bed. Don't want to let it go.
There you go. We're talking right now, and this is not our topic. We hadn't actually got to our topic yet. We're gonna get to the topic in just a second or two, but we're talking this morning about the whole Breonna situation and what type cover up is that, and why only one officer got charged with a minimum crime. Christy, what do you say to that?
Well, I don't know what he did wrong, because he must be the poor white trash of the
He didn't do nothing wrong. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. Exactly what he was told to do.
So he was a fall guy. So because of the political and everything that was going on, somebody had to take the fall. I don't know if they drew sticks. I don't know if they just felt like whoever, he was just a lucky person to take it, or how they determined which one of the ones was going to take it, but they knew somebody had to go down. It's very sad, though, because it's not justice.
No, it's not.
So many times, we talk about this topic, and we talk about this topic, and we talk about this topic, and we talk, but there's no actions. Until there is a real consequences for the police behavior, it's going to keep on happening, hands down.
Mm-hmm.
And if we as a people don't rise up and start to act or have some actions behind what we say or become a real threat, it's going to fall on deaf ears, because that's like me trying when I talk to my kids. If all I do is scream and holler at my kids and say, I'm going to whoop you, and I never do it, guess what they going to do when I say it?
Mm-hmm.
It ain't going to mean nothing. It ain't no action behind it. But I guarantee you that if I say it and then I do it,
Mm-hmm.
the next time I say it, it's going to mean something.
Okay.
They're going to put a fear of Jesus in their heart.
Mm-hmm.
And until we start doing those things, and let me make myself clear, I'm not talking about violence either. I'm talking about the act of having some real consequences and the community standing up demanding that consequence, and not only demanding the consequence, but also coming out and voting and putting the people in office that's going to do what you want to do for your community.
Mm-hmm.
Until we get all those things lined up, we're going to continue to be the people that's going to be harassed, abused, murdered, and everything until we start action.
Mm-hmm.
Action is the word. Remember Action Jackson?
Yes.
Action Jackson. That's what we need to start doing. We need to start acting upon what we say. You know, okay, so one officer got, okay, what's going to happen to the other officers? Nothing. So is that real justice? So justice has not been done. So it's going to be up to the people to go to the congressmen, to go to the higher courts, to overturn the decision. It's things that we can do that you don't have to lay down and take it. But so many times we feel defeated because we get one no or one thing, we want to sit down. So we have to stand up even stronger and make our presence even more known, not just on Breonna Taylor, but on every issue that we having a problem with 45, with his administration, with the trafficking, with everything that's going on in our society. We have the power. If only we would just tap into the power and know what we have and what we can do, then we can make a lot of changes.
Exactly.
But the problem is we don't even know that we have the power to do it.
678-381-1973, 678-381-1973. If you have anything in your heart that you want to talk about. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I got one more question.
Okay. Hold on, Chris.
This is my last question. Do y'all think that them taking the settlement had anything to do with the way the judge viewed the decision that they're making?
It shouldn't. It shouldn't.
And that's one thing people often get confused and don't really look at rationally. The settlement is what it is. It has nothing to do with really the criminal part of that case. You can be innocent of a crime and still be forced to pay a settlement. Example, OJ. He was not criminally guilty. But yet they gave him the settlement. The reason when it makes a difference is when we don't put decent individuals in office, because it's just not just about this police officer. It's about that corrupt judge, and it's about that corrupt district attorney. And I'm sure the representation was paid for probably by law enforcement. Some fund from law enforcement. That, police officers don't even have to get their own lawyers a lot of times. That bill is footed by the people. These are the things you have to go after and attack. And you have to dismantle them from. It's not like one person, a million people do one thing. You need a million people doing a million things against this enemy.
Yeah. Collectively. Absolutely.
Always, all the time, without relenting. That's why I can't get mad at protesters. I may not, be protesting as much anymore, but I'm not going to say other people shouldn't protest, because we need that protest. We need people in office. You could look in this man's face, Cameron, and knew when he was running for office that he was not about our best interest. He works for them.
Exactly.
And these are the things we have to point out. We can't be politically correct about it. Progressive people when you see them. You know what they stand for. But now I guarantee you, go and pull the records on voter participation in that particular district responsible for that district attorney.
Good deal.
That tells the story.
Curtis, you wanted to say something, brother?
I hear my sister, and I love the fact that she speaks from a real woman's perspective. I love that because she said, you know, I'm not speaking about violence.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but I'm just gonna say it, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say it as uncomfortable as it's gonna be. Violence has to happen. It has to happen, man. It has to happen.
You should no longer be able. And Kurt is a soldier.
Listen,
Mm-hmm.
when you got a president of the that gives orders for the National Guard, not even the active duty, the National Guard, those are people who actually live in the communities for which they've been called to deter. The National Guard shooting people with rubber bullets and shooting canisters of tear gas at folk who are having a peaceful protest. The peaceful protests have been happening. We have recorded record that there has been people paid to come into these protests and create havoc.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Busting store windows. And then when they question the dude to do so, what y'all doing? I'm paid by the police department to come here and bust these windows.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What you have right now is you have America has been covered by an evil man.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He has no civility. He has no common decency. You know, and it's a shame. And then soon as one of these cops gets shot because somebody saying, no, hold on, man. The right to bear arms and protect myself does not stop when you walk in the room.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they just found out that they got to read through I said this a long time ago, Raheem, on this show. I said, man, somebody need to take a look at the psychological testing that's given to police officers before they become police officers. They talking about reworking the psychological exam because it's obvious that some of these dudes, man, we speak so highly of police, and it's a hard job. Don't get it wrong. Probably one of the hardest jobs in the world to do.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But if you are not psychologically together to be a cop, you will fail.
Absolutely.
Man, a lot of these dudes, man, they drinking on the job. So they lick it up.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting high on the job. They drugged up. They go home. If you was to sit down and talk to a bunch of wives off the record, I know a bunch of females that dated cops. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
My wife, ex, was a cop. Her last boyfriend before me was a cop. Man, if I told you some of the things this dude did right here, you would want to get in your car and drive to New Jersey and choke him out, man.
And many of them are like that.
Wow. Let me go.
The atrocities guided towards women, man, is bananas right here.
Exactly. Let me go to my phone line. I know I got Donald Toussaint. He's on hold, and Rico, we're coming to you next. Donald, we're talking about the situation, and this is not our topic today. This is just our opener, and I guess you could say a filler. I guess it is. But my thing is, we're talking about the Breonna situation and how that there was only one police officer charged with a minimum crime. Donald, what do you see within that?
This constant injustice that we've been seeing.
Mm-hmm.
That if if we, me, you, and let me put Leonard in there. We're riding down the street, and we stop at a store.
Mm-hmm.
I go in, rob the store. Both of y'all guilty.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all both going to jail with me.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So put them two parallels together and tell me that something's not wrong with the system.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because we're supposed to be guilty by association.
Mm-hmm.
Depends on who it is in America, though.
Yes, it does.
I hate to get, I have a peak at tolerance, and I'm been at my peak for years.
Mm-hmm.
So some things I don't listen to, I don't get involved because it raises my level of tolerance.
Mm-hmm.
I don't listen to our president because those that, the attorney general. I say this, and I said, we voted him in.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where it starts.
Wow.
We get it, but we have to be careful now because we say, well, they look like us. And I saw something somebody posted. That don't mean nothing because I got people that I know. They'll swear up and down and they'll tell you, I voted for 45 and I'm going to vote for him for 46.
Mm.
But you see the results of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You never seen the White House conduct itself like this.
Mm-hmm. Ever. Not openly anyway. Not openly anyway. Rico, what's on your heart? Cassandra, coming to you next.
I just they've been preparing us and priming us and playing these games with us since before Rodney King. And I believe it got a little known after that cop and Hoover shot in Matthew Bradford Jr. in the mall in the Galleria in Birmingham and Hoover.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I got a little known then and stopped looking at videos because I saw then that videos didn't even matter. Now it was great that the video worked for Walter Scott. Had it not been for that video, that man would have never suffered the consequences either. But after that happened in the Galleria, I saw how the justice system would work. Jefferson County, which Birmingham lies in, had elected a black county attorney, district attorney for the county. It was Jefferson County district attorney and all. The state attorney swooped in and took the case from him so he could go ahead and file or say that the cop was not in the wrong.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even give the black Jefferson County attorney a chance to prosecute the case or nothing. He barely even had a chance to speak on it before Steve Marshall swooped in and just took it and made good old boy justice happen again. So, we could vote and put people in, but we would have to put people in every step, every position. Put people we need in. It might not be black people, but it might have to be somebody that's still in favor of revamping the system,
mm-hmm.
taking away this privilege and this bias that gives cops immunity. But these conversations, the direction gonna have to change because we can't say nothing no different today than what I was saying 2 or 3 years ago with the Matthew Bradford Jr. or we would be saying with Rodney King, and we saw that video over and over and over and over again for decades. We know what the reason behind the riot. Same thing, right?
Mm-hmm. It's good.
Now we got new witnesses to it, but how can we fix it with the same conversation?
Mm-hmm. That's good. Cassandra, what's on your heart right now? Breonna's situation. Only one off the charge with a minimum charge. What happened? What happened, Cassandra?
Well, what happened is what always happens when it comes to people of color. Unfortunately, we always get the back end of the stick. Whatever is happening, they always make sure that we never see the justice that we should get. This country has been unjust from the times they're concerned about burning a building or whatever, but they weren't concerned about burning a black body. They burned many black bodies around this country. They're concerned about broken windows, but they're not concerned about broken bones,
Come on.
broken skulls. I'm just sick of the whole damn thing, and I'm gonna say it. I'll go to the corner later. This is ridiculous. We cannot get justice in this country, and you still have a jackass in the White House saying all kind of shit. He has done nothing. They asked him about this case, and this man said that is good. Here we go again. The good people, the good DAs, everybody that is anti-black, anti-justice, anti-equality are good people in his eyes. And it's disgusting. And I agree with Rico. The conversation, and not just the conversation, our actions have to change.
Absolutely. And there's so many layers in this thing here, man. And how often does it have to happen, Leonard, before we're gonna stand up and make a change? Before we're gonna do something? Can't hear you, brother. Can't hear you. Can't hear you, Leonard.
I'm not, I understand about folks being upset or whatever or what have you. One, I don't know what anybody else is doing, but I'm trying to effect change at different levels as far as making sure that we're supporting people who are about our interests and are decent people for certain offices, confronting those people in the offices that are not doing what they're supposed to do, and even taking my request to the Lord to send the death angel to remove them from our presence. I don't tolerate it at all. I don't believe in speaking kind to it. I don't believe in acting and pretending as if things just gonna get better. No, you should not wake up if you shed innocent blood. I pray you drop dead right now for that.
Now we ain't gonna go that further. And then some people will say that's borderline witchcraft right there, wishing evil on somebody. We don't do that around here.
Bring me back a testimony.
Somebody was just saying something. Was that you, Cassandra, that was saying something? Cassandra?
Leonard.
I'm gonna be quiet because Leonard he always speak close to what I want to say.
I'm gonna do it for you. Don't even worry about it, sister. I'll do it for you.
I'm trying to be Leonard. I'm trying to be quiet because I think you and they feel like we're militant anyway. So which I am. I'm a definite rebel. I've never fit in. So
never have, never will. I won't side with evil. I won't side with evil Cassandra for nobody.
Okay.
Good deal.
Okay.
Let's keep this. Rico, what's on your heart right now? And then we're going to catapult into our topic for today. We got a very interesting topic today. We're going to talk about that as well. So, Rico, what's on your heart right now?
I think Leonard asked a good question. When is it going to change? And Cassandra Melv asked that question. And to be honest with you, I don't know if we'll live to see that change. I thought Jalen Rose said something last night before the game, and he was like, we got to keep on doing the fight, but we might not see the benefits of it. But that's what the key is first, we got to find some kind of way to counter this system without being killed in the process.
You can easily do that November the 3rd.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And so, and with that being said, this momentum, to me, the momentum has to stay consistent, even though the death might have happened 2 or 3 months ago, and the picketing and rioting and looting stops. It still had the protest, and all that has to keep on going. See, that's what bothers me is that after all these conversations we have over decades of Rodney King, and he survived, but over decades of seeing this stuff on tape, after a while it only becomes entertainment for us to pull up and look for footage. But the protesting stops, the momentum and the action in the community stops, and it goes right back to whatever popular trend is. We got some deprogramming we got to do.
Absolutely.
To get focused on.
And me and Cassandra will come by and put blood on the doorpost.
See now.
Okay. Okay, make sure y'all got the blood on the doorpost. Okay. Let me can I just say something? Oh man. You know, I'm talking, but I'm so hurt. And last night it was like a gut punch again.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this country keeps gut punching black folk over and over and over again. And I'm going to say this. Then we talk about electing officials, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, help me, God, help me, God. Please tell me, how do we make this transition when we got the fool in the White House that says that he may not leave
Yeah, he said
if
that.
just today? I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about the freaking
Secret
Mm-hmm.
Service to take care of that.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
This morning, he says if they make the decision that he lost, he said, no, it should not be a loss. It will be a continuation. And
Mhm.
he will not allow them to be removed out of office, even if he is voted out. What the heck?
Mm-hmm.
What the heck?
Mm-hmm.
So we talk about the vote, but the vote ain't mean nothing if you got a jackass in there talking about he ain't going nowhere.
Okay.
Because he ain't gonna lose.
Okay, hold on.
All right.
Hold on. Oh, hey, I let it slide a little bit too. Hey, get that corner ready. Get that chair right there. I done let it slide 2 or 3 times. No. Get it ready. Here she come. Here she come. Here she come.
I mean, I understand where Miss Cassandra's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
It's a frustrating and aggravating thing, and you can only be so politically correct for so long. You can only be polite for so long before you. How many times somebody got to hit you in your arm before you ride back and hit back?
Mm-hmm.
How many
But
times somebody
see,
got to push you down
that's my
and you
thing
keep getting
is,
up and they keep pushing you down before you stand up and push them down? So it becomes a frustrating point because it's just like Rico said, we've been dealing with this for generations. This ain't something that's just started happening or that's been happening just for a couple of days. Okay, well, it was a few cases, but there's case after case after case to the point that one of the quarterbacks had a suit with nothing but names of people that were brutally killed or beaten by police officers. And the names didn't repeat on the suit. So this is, I understand the frustration. And then you have an administration that's supposed to be for the people, by the people, that's only for a certain person or a certain type, and condones violence and racism and separateness. That is in itself crazy. And then people support this man. And I don't understand. I'm like, where is the support coming from? From the daughters and sons of the Confederates, the Ku Klux Klan. They all know how to come together to do what they need to do. But we as a people, we can't come together because we don't like the way this person looks. Oh, her head wrap. Oh, that's a Muslim. Oh, no, I can't get with that. No, we need to put that ism and schism down and do what we need to do to get the justice and get to the point of where we can live our lives in peace and happiness, not for ourselves, but for our kids, our children's children. I mean, I understand the frustration, and I don't think she deserved to go in the corner because you get so frustrated. 45 will make you cuss, make you act a fool, take you out of character, even wish him to be dead. So it's to that point. So I understand where Leonard and Miss Cassandra coming from.
But my thing is this right here. Well, my question is this right here. We're gonna get to our topic. My question is this right here though. At what point, how much frustration do we have to deal with before we make a difference? And how do we recognize the small victories that we have in the course of trying to get to that big goal, Curtis? How frustrated do we have to be before we do something? We've been frustrated for years. We've seen this thing for years. This ain't new. It didn't just start with this. So, Curtis, what do we need to do? Oh, we just lost Curtis. Rico, what do we need to do?
I think we need to improve our values. We need to sit down and understand why we function the way we function. And I'm gonna give you the reason why I say that. And in most cities, the NAACP is like the oldest organization, black organization that we can depend on, right? Most solid, most consistent. So we have one in my hometown, and for maybe the past 15, 20 years, man, the membership, I ain't gonna say the membership has been where you can count it on one hand, but I bet the meetings have been like that if there had been meetings.
Mm-hmm.
So I started going to the meeting, and I saw how disorganized it was. It didn't even start off structurally right. It didn't. I mean, it didn't even start off officially the way you're supposed to start off a meeting. And I was appalled because I was like, well, wait a minute, man, this is already disorganized. So this is just going to come into a big rant session. Everybody going to start speaking out of turn, and they ain't even got an agenda wrote up, an idea, a purpose, and
Mm-hmm.
let's get together for the NAACP meeting, ask people to join in and just tell what's on our mind and speak our piece. And I'm like, wait, this organization's been around too long for this. And so I realized that structure was gone, but at the same time, these same people are a part of other meetings officiated by white people that they see the design and the structure of it. So, I mean, I'm trying to figure out how can we even assemble in the first place and get it to the point where we can come up with some kind of strategy to be able to tackle this bias. But then on top of that, how can we even get people to stop being brainwashed about gathering? Because I believe somehow it has been passed down for us to not feel like we should gather unless it's to be entertained or to be minstrels.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's to gather together for something worthwhile, you can't get us to come together.
Yeah.
And it's not a law anymore. It used to be a law against us congregating. You know, they did that at one point in time.
Mm-hmm.
So now we won't congregate. You can't get us to sit down together when it comes time to fight for rights. They won't show up unless there's some money involved.
Exactly.
So then there's a lawsuit involved in a settlement. Then they'll show up.
Or giving away something.
And also, you know, from experience, I can honestly tell you, and I have a leadership curriculum for individuals interested in creating civil rights organizations.
Mm-hmm.
What you have, first of all, we need to move away from all leadership that was raised during Jim Crow. We need young progressive leaders who have no respect whatsoever for that foolishness that was happening all those years. See, when the thing of it, like Rico was saying, I had this issue with people. When I'm in leadership in an organization, one thing you can count on is consistency. I am going to do what I tell you I'm going to do. I'm going to do it on time, all the time, every time. So if we need to go somewhere, because this is the thing, I can schedule a conference, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I get all these preachers to come to this conference because they all want to see somebody and want to get seen.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as time to do some work, can't find them.
Can't find them. Good deal.
I'm telling you what your problems are. And what you say about that everybody picks on the legacy organization. I guarantee you, if you show up at that meeting long enough, you eventually can become the leader of that local NAACP.
Mm-hmm.
For the very fact, people ain't going to show up.
Yep.
So what you have to do is you have to go in there, you have to use the same tactic on a smaller level and just expand it on a larger level. If you show up and participate, you will eventually find yourself in leadership, especially dealing with primarily African American organizations.
Exactly.
Consistency is the key.
Now we're going to transition over and go to our topic for today. That has been good. I definitely enjoyed that conversation. But now it's time for us to get to our topic for today. And in this day and time, it's almost impossible. It's very hard. It's real hard, Leonard, to find someone that don't have kids already. It's kind of hard. And when you meet someone and they have kids, what are your responsibility in that? Do they kids become your kids? Do you take responsibility? Do you take a sense of ownership over them as a parent, knowing that they do have say if it's a young man, you know they already have a dad, but you're in their life now? Or do you take the attitude, and what do you do if Leonard, you're a young man, you're not married, you got kids, you meet this young lady, and vice versa, ladies, I want y'all to vice versa this thing. You meet this person and y'all have a discussion one day, and they say to you this, I'm going to put it across the screen. They are your kids. They're your kids, not mine. Are they right? Are they wrong for you? Or are they right in saying that? Because technically, they're not. They're kids. Would you deal with that person, Larry?
I wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't. My advice to individuals in these situations: you need to try to avoid those types of relationships as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
You should wait. You should wait. It takes my hat's off to people who can do this successfully, because I know it's not my thing. It's not something I would welcome into my life.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's for that very fact. And I'm dominant. So I don't. We're not gonna go back and forth. I'm gonna abstain. Period. I'm not gonna find myself in that situation. I'm going to abstain from that situation. Or if I do get involved, the rules are up front. I give it to you up front.
Mm-hmm.
We have to agree first, or we cannot go further.
Mm-hmm.
So I would suggest people have rules, boundaries, and regulations up front if you engage in these types of relationships. My mother, for instance, when my father passed, she decided not to marry or be involved with anyone until we were adults. And then after that, she chose not to as well. Because one, we often talk about the lions and things of that nature. And I refer to the lion. Yes, the lion is powerful or whatever, but what the lion does not tolerate is anything against him.
Yes.
And so, one, we are putting our children in danger when we engage in relationships with people who are unstable. You know, if you have a man who doesn't have kids, what does he know about being a parent?
Come on.
And now you don't put him over your children, and you don't know much about him yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So either you bring things into submission, or you don't interact at all. You must have a working agreement in them situations to avoid arguing and fighting and misunderstandings. Because one thing you can't expect the children to behave like adults.
Do you think you're expecting too much out of this person until they tell you this? And then once they tell you this, what is your next move? What is your next move?
Well, I'm from. You should ask. You should ask, because it's important to you. So you should ask. You should be the leader in working out these agreements with people and how we're going to handle A, B, and C. You should even think of scenarios on how we would handle them. So when they do happen, you can respond to them correctly.
Yeah.
Instead of all upset and fighting and screaming and hollering and arguing about things.
Good deal. Let me go to Cassandra. Cassandra, how do you deal with this situation? How do you deal with that? This individual come to you, y'all have a discussion one day. You think y'all are going in the right direction, but then again, y'all have this discussion that's based around the kids, and they say to you, they're your kids, not mine. They're your kids. How do you deal with that, Cassandra? From that point on, how do you deal with that?
You're in the wrong relationship.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
there's
ma'am.
no other way to look at that. That's bottom line, point blank. You messed up. You in the wrong relationship, because there is no mine and yours. They're ours. When you come together with the person, and I'm presuming we're talking about marriage.
Yes.
I hope. When you come together, and whoever has, if he has a son and I have a daughter, or whatever the situation is, they become our children. Of course, there are ways that we handle, our children. And if we don't agree on that ahead of time, then we need to reason. That's why the Bible talks about, come, let us reason together.
Yes.
You sit down, and just like Leonard said, you say, okay, this is the way I normally deal with my children in this particular situation. Set up scenarios, play it out if necessary. If you want a successful family relationship, then you take the time to do what it takes to make that relationship successful. So it's not my kids, it ain't your kids, it's our kids on both sides. I don't care if they don't live with us. When they come around, we need to have rules, regulations, stuff already set up, and everybody needs to know where everybody's staying.
That's good. That's good. Christy, what's on your heart? They're your kids. They're not mine. What do you do next? What do you say? How do you handle it?
I was sitting patiently, waiting. I was like sitting in my seat like a little schoolgirl, like I was back in school, like raising my hand. Ooh, 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 me. Okay, so first off, if you have children, there's a way to date. I know for me, I don't bring every person that I like or everyone that I'm dating before my children, because then that because things doesn't work out. And after I am dating someone and it's serious, or I feel like it's something that I might want to venture off into a little more, then I introduce my kids to them. Now, the thing about it is, if in this us getting to know each other, I'm going to find out one or two things. One, you already know that I have kids, just you haven't met them. I'm not going to hide that. Number two, the way you are around, if you have children, the way you are around your children, the way you are around your mom, if you make certain comments about how you don't like this about kids, or you don't like this, then I have to make a decision quickly, because I'm dating you, but at the same time, if you don't like kids, I need not be with you. So if we do end up being together, I should already know your stance on children, on marriage, on blended family, how this was going to work. This is a conversation that's going to be had prior to us being married. And if anyone say these are not my kids, wait a minute, we in this together. You a partner, so we are one. What's mine is yours, and what's yours is mine. We come together, and we're coming together as a unit. So if you already have a division state mind, then you can't be a part of me or mine, because you have a division set. We're not gonna have no division. It's us. It's we. It's our kids. It's us. Our child have a problem. We need to do what we need to do for our child. And dealing with baby mamas and other mothers, especially if the guy has children and baby mothers, you have to deal with them as well. You have to be a mature person to be able to say, you know what, look, I understand it's about your child. Now, if it's anything outside of your children, that's something that you have to tackle, because you have to be able to trust the person to know that it's all about their child, especially if the child is not living in a home with the father and staying with the mother. So there's a lot of dimensions in this, because it's our fight together, and if you want to know, the state thinks the same way, because if you're married to a person and he has to pay child support, he don't pay it, they're going to come after you.
Yeah.
So if I have to pay child support because I'm married to you, that means that child is a part of me as well. So we have, like I say, it's so many dimensions that it go into that I wouldn't be with a person that says that. I could not be with a person who said that's not my child. And I would not quickly give them access to my children until I know who they are for myself.
Good deal.
And I think that's the thing that a lot of women don't do. And I think that's a lot of reason why we have children being molested by boyfriends, with kids being left alone with these men, because you yourself didn't take the time to get to know them properly, to know what their intentions are.
Good deal. Good deal. We got a caller. We're going to come to you in just 1 second. Right now, I want to go to Rico. Rico, this young lady said that to you. Y'all in the heat of the conversation and talking about the kids. And then she look at you, look you straight in your face, look you right in your eyes, Rico, and say, they're your kids. They're not mine. What do you do?
You slap yourself upside the head for getting with this woman for all the wrong reasons. And not digging deep enough to see that she wasn't about your kids and she didn't accept your whole package. And it's funny you brought that up, because I had the most awesome, man, to this day, man. I think I went with this woman maybe 15 years ago, if not longer. But my mom still loved this woman, and we still friends. We the best of friends. She's from Alabama, but ended up moving to Decatur, to Atlanta. And no matter how nice she was, she made me a better man. I ain't gonna lie, changed up my whole style, man. I mean, she made me grow up. I give her credit for that. That's why I was such good friends with her. It was so motivating and supportive. But she was not good with children. And no matter how much I tried to force myself to envision her as a proper stepmother / mother for my sons, even when she came around them, I see she just didn't have it.
Mm-hmm.
She just didn't have that nurturing in her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I knew we wasn't gonna have children. But guess what? Not only my second mind kept telling me, you know what? This your wife, you better get her. But that was the deal breaker.
Yeah.
But everybody around me, my family members, oh, I love her. Why didn't you marry her? Why didn't you marry her? And I'm like, because she wasn't gonna fight that battle with me when it came to my children.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Even though she knew what I was going through. Oh, that's messed up. Oh, that's a shame. Why didn't mama do them like that? She had an opinion, but she didn't have that get up and go and say, you know what, I'm with you. Let's go get her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, it was the minimum concern. You know, so I was like, okay, this ain't gonna go any further because she gonna want me to herself.
Yeah. Yeah.
She doesn't know how to interact with us as a group. As a matter of fact, we went to Six Flags, and that really was all I needed to see.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw how she interacted with them, it was like she was trying to find a way to build a bond. And I'm like, man, it's easy. It's easy, but she just didn't have it. So I would have been a fool.
Yeah.
And so if that does happen, you didn't dig deep enough.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't dig.
Yeah.
You went in for the kill for the wrong reason.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly. Let me go to Annie. Annie from Mississippi. Good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning? Annie, you there?
Good morning. Good morning. Yes, I'm here.
Good morning. Annie, you in a conversation, you got kids. You get with this young man. And in the course of the conversation that y'all have, it become very heated. Surrounding your kids. And he look at you and he uttered these words. They are your kids, not mine. And what happens next?
Well, anytime a person that you're dating or looking to date cannot accept your children, you don't need them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I never could date anyone who could not receive my children. Because the thing about it is, if they tell you or they show you a front that you know how they feel about the kids, why do you want them in the first place?
Mm-hmm.
So many people today, so many females right now are they're dating guys that, you know, that they've shown them how they feel about kids. And in order to have a man, you know, accept everything you put out there.
Mm-hmm.
But your kids come first. I don't care how fine he is. I don't care, you know, how he look or how she looks. If they don't want my kids, bye.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't accept my children, then you're not for me. My kids are part of me. They are part of me. They
Mm-hmm.
come first.
Yes.
So I don't care how they look, you know, hey, my kids come first.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. Now, Donna Tucson, I kept you over there marinating for a minute because I wanted to come to you last on this one. Donna, what do you say in that situation? She look at you, man, and she said, your kids. Ain't mine. Ain't mine. Ain't mine. What do you do, Donna?
You almost have to put me in the corner. We could find you in there. I'm telling you. Because I could just imagine myself keeping my whatever I got with me.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all have to excuse me. No, I ain't gonna say it. But I'd be like, let me get the.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let me get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get my stuff, because that's the end of the time. And I've done it. And I'll do it again.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Because one thing about my kids is they didn't ask to come here.
Mm-hmm.
I brought them here.
Mm-hmm.
And I've done that.
Yeah.
Several times. Because there's no, for real.
Mm-hmm.
And then I say this again. If I get with somebody and they got kids, be careful how I move and I operate.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm heading towards that's my kids too. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm gonna do for mine. I'm gonna do for theirs.
Mm-hmm.
Equally.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when it comes to discipline, I'm gonna act different because people should be careful about how and who discipline their children.
Yes.
Whatever you might call discipline.
Mm-hmm.
First thing I'm gonna say, go see your mom.
Mm-hmm.
You need to go talk to your mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, because you don't just because you have some feelings of you being needs some discipline, you don't fool with that. Better not.
Mm-hmm.
But no, man, let me get out of here. You look good, but you ain't no good. Not for me.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. That's good. Cassandra, how do you deal with? Because a lot of time a person will put up this representative, what a lot of people like to call them representatives, in situations like this, and string you along. And you think this person is a good person. You think that they have your best intentions, not only for you, but for your kids and for the whole family, for the whole unit. And then this come up, and you find you find yourself shocked that this person said or felt this way. Do you even have a conversation with them?
I mean, we're going to have a conversation, but this is where our spirituality, and I can say I made bad choices.
Mm-hmm.
I made bad choices. Okay. That was me. That ain't had nothing to do with God telling me this your husband, blah, blah, blah. I made choices on my own that caused me hell later. And I think we have to invoke our spiritual gifts when it comes to being with a mate. We have to make sure that that person is lining up with what God, because if it's the person that God has for you, you go through stuff, but it'll be stuff that you can work through because God said, this is your mate. You understand what I'm saying? But that's not the case for a lot of us. We choose people because, ooh, he sure fine. Ooh, she sure look good. Ooh, he sure got money. Ooh, she got her own place. Ooh, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So we choose people for all the wrong reasons, and then we bring children. We may have children already. We bring children, or we have children in situations that are not healthy. So it's all about, to me, I made my mistake. I'm willing to admit I chose some jacked up folk because I wanted to choose them, not because God said this is your mate.
Good deal. Good deal. Andy, what's on your heart right now? You know, and you know how, and a lot of times people will, before I even do, let me get a phone number. People asking for the phone number. 678-381-1973. 678-381-1973. 678-381-1973. Give us a call. We're talking about they are your kids, not mine. You're with someone, you have kids, they're not their biological children, and y'all have, and y'all are going in a way, or maybe even married at this point. And then y'all have this conversation, in a heated conversation, and they say to you, they are your kids, not mine. What do you do at that point? And then you met the representative. You didn't know he felt this way, didn't know he had this in his heart at all. But then in the heat of that conversation, he says these words to you. Do you even talk to him anymore after that? Or what happens, Annie?
Well, the moment he opened his mouth and say that to you, my daddy always said when a person is drunk or mad, they will say exactly how they feel.
Yes.
And you better believe them. The moment a person tells you that, you better listen to them. You better put your flesh aside and put your emotions aside and listen to them, because those kids come first. We had an incident in my family where my nephew that's in the military, he married every 2-3 years. He just married, consistently every 2-3 years. So his third wife, he married a lady from some part of Texas, I believe. But by this time, he had about 4 kids. And I remember my sister told me how he told her several times about how she made differences in her kids and his kids. And my sister flew out there one day, and she found out herself how she was putting his little boys in a room all day long without feeding them. And see, we gotta be careful anytime we bring people into these kids' life that don't mean them no good. Be careful. It's not about you. It's not about your flesh. Not about sex and all that. Like I said earlier, I don't care how fine a man is. If he don't accept my kids, bye. Yes. My kids are part of me. But so many females right now are so freaking thirsty. There are some thirsty females out there, and they'll put up with anything. They don't care.
Mm-hmm.
You can't change a man. If he don't want you. He tell you up front that I don't want no kids. You better believe him. You can't change no man.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot raise or change a man's mind. Whatever he say, you better believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Learn to love yourself first. These females right out here right now, right here, it's sad.
Mm-hmm.
They always running behind love, running behind doing anything it takes, harming the kids, putting the kids aside to run after these those sorry, raggedy men. Learn to love yourself first. Self-love is the most important love.
Mm-hmm.
When I love me, I can show you how to treat me.
Mm-hmm.
But I gotta first love me.
Exactly. Now, Rico, and I don't see this, but I'm just, for the sake of conversation, I'm gonna throw this out there. What would make you say that to someone else? Rico?
Say that again now.
And again, I'm gonna preface it by saying I don't see this because this ain't the way that you're built. But I'm just asking for the sake of the conversation right now. What would make you say that to someone else?
Say that those kids are mine, are yours?
Yes.
If I see something of importance that could be positive towards that child, or something that I see negative going on that needs to be addressed with that child, and that person tells me not to worry about that, that's their child. I tell them what to do. That's my child. You don't chastise them. Don't talk to them like that. And then, I mean, you know you have to back up, because when it comes time for you to save that child and prevent that child from going through what they need to go through, I mean, you're going to be in a situation that you shouldn't have to go through if you stick with that woman.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's, you know, I'm going to be honest with you, even outside of a relationship, I've seen people do that in public. You know, when we talk about the village, I've seen people say the same thing. I was at a family reunion one time, and we had it at a community center. And the director at the community center wasn't paying attention to her youth health.
Mm-hmm.
And those youth were out there trying to knock a hornet's nest down. Mind you, they had a lot of kids in there that they were watching for the daycare center. And so I saw them doing it, and I was like, man, them kids gonna get stoned, but these teenagers, they didn't know any better, even though they had the authority over these kids. So across the gym, I started yelling, hey, hold up, man, hold up. And that woman came out that office and told me, they work for me. You don't talk to them like that. So I guess I was supposed to sit back and just let them do something wrong, and take a chance in them hornets coming down and stinging all those little kids they had sitting outside out there playing around.
And they
on top of it, they had that problem. So that can happen when you see that you want to actually have an effect on somebody doing something positive or good, and then somebody stepping in and preventing you because that's not your place. That's my child.
Cassandra, what, I know the mothering side and the loving side of you, Cassandra. What did what Rico just said, how would you deal with that adult that came out there and said that? Cassandra?
Ignorant, not even ignorant, ignorant. I'm gonna just go straight to the ghetto. That's an ignorant statement for anyone to have made. It's about the safety of the child, and that's even in a relationship, or if you just out somewhere. I've spoken to people's children. You know what I'm saying? When I saw them doing something, dangerous, or something that could be detrimental. So, they're our children. It takes a village.
Absolutely.
And if we don't get back to that mentality, we're going to be, we're already in trouble. So, but we're going to be in more trouble if we don't take the village mentality in every area of our life.
Exactly. Toussaint, talk to me.
If I was to say that, it would be if they're neglected or they can't see that something is going on with the child and they refuse to see it. It's not what is said, in that sense is how I would say
Yeah.
that's your child and not mine.
Mm-hmm.
Because
How
I'm
frustrating
seeing
would
something
how
that's going
frustrating would that
on.
be, Donna? How frustrating would that be though, for you to have to say that to it because you love the child, you want the best for the child, and then to have the mother to come to you and say something like that? How frustrating would that be for you?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about it is, we children or gifts,
Mm-hmm.
and they're given to us to help them grow,
Mm-hmm.
the men and women.
Yes.
But if we don't have and we make mistakes. I know I'd have in raising children, guiding them. I've done a lot of it.
Man, I made many.
But when it comes to them being around the right people, crowds, you know what I did to my son. I say that over again. You ain't gonna hang out. Option.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather you no. Well, if sometimes we can't see what's going on with our own children, and our own children would rather listen to somebody rather than us sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes we need an eye opener.
Yeah.
But it's just, you know what I hate to see?
Mm-hmm.
I hate to see a parent yank on their child, yank their child arm. I don't know if y'all know what yank means, but just snatch their arm.
Yeah, yeah.
Pull over.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's some puppet.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't you tell me what to do with my child.
Mm.
Okay. That's the wrong. And another thing, Raheem, we have to be careful of how, especially women. I don't care how good a person looks. If they're trying to manipulate their way into a child's life rather than they just rather fit in, you better watch yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
They monitoring.
Mm-hmm.
They monitoring rather than nurturing the child. They monitoring your child.
Mm-hmm.
You better watch it.
Exactly. I'm ready. I gotta play this commercial, pay this bill, but when I come back, I'm gonna come to Rico. And Rico, I'm gonna ask you this question. Cassandra, I'm gonna come to you as well. If you're dating someone and y'all are dating, she has kids, and you notice every time y'all gonna go out together, every time y'all going out together, she dressed to the nines, man. Looking sharp, hair done, smelling good, right perfume on, everything is to the nines, man. But you look at the kids and they look like they need a lot of attention. Holes in the clothes and hair not done and half dirty. I'm gonna play this commercial, Rico, and I want you to. When I come back, I'm coming to you. Then I'm going to Cassandra, and I want to hear your heart on this. But let me pay this bill real quick. Y'all give me 1 second. You listen to DKM Media Group. This is the Morning Glow. We're talking about today. We're talking about those, but those are your kids, not mine. Now, somebody say that to you. What does that do to you? What does that do to a relationship? What does that do to you all possibly moving forward? But right now, let me play this commercial.
I'm looking to buy my first home.
Welcome to Home Solution Providers, where you can participate in our first time home buyer program. In our first time home buyer program, we can help you qualify for a mortgage with a preferred lender, participate in our financial education and growth program, work with a preferred realtor to help you find the house of your dreams, and assist you with closing costs, and much more. Just contact 678-489-7531. Home Solution Providers, 678-489-7531.
Thank you.
Home Solution Providers, 678-489-7531. www.homesolutionproviders.org.
Rico, how do you handle that, brother? How do you handle that? She dressed to the nines, man. Looking good, smelling good. Hair is, everything is good. And then the kids come running out the house dirty. Kids come running out the house. Little girl hair ain't done. Little boy ain't had a haircut since they made clippers. How do you do? What do you do, Rico? Can't hear you, brother. Okay, I think we might have a bad connection there. We're not able to hear what you're saying. Okay, he gonna come out and come back in. Cassandra, what do you say to that, man? He come out. Y'all ready to go somewhere, and everything is in place. Haircut, everything is his mustache, beard, all this stuff is nicely groomed, nicely groomed. Clothes are nice. Cologne on one of your favorite colognes he's wearing is smelling good, and then the kids run out the door. He's a single parent. The kids run out the door, and none of them are right. Cassandra, how do you deal with that?
Man, it wouldn't be no dealing because if you won't take care of your own children, that's male or female. If your first priority, if you're not married at that time, if your first priority is not your children, making sure that they're taken care of, well groomed and everything, and you are on fleek, as the kids say,
Yes.
forget about it. Forget about it. That's not going to happen. It doesn't make any sense. Because if you're not taking care of them, which should be your first priority, that means that your character, your priorities, that's the word, priorities are not in order. And that means right then we got a problem. Houston, we have a problem. So everything, it has to line up. Her priorities are not in order. His priorities are not in order if they're not taking care of those children, which is their responsibility. And I'm not even in the picture yet.
Exactly. Tucson, what do you say to that, man? She come out, man. She on point. Everything is whoa, girl. And then here come the kids. Man, they dirty. Their hair not done, and clothes got holes ripped in the clothes, all kind of things. Donald, what do you do? How do you handle that situation?
The first thing I thought about, y'all gonna have to excuse me. The first words I thought about what my mom would say. Nasty heifer.
Okay. Wow.
I'm sorry.
But
I'm going in the corner.
But my thing is, she's sharp though, man. She's ready for
It
anyway.
ain't nothing to do with it. No, she's not sharp. She's not sharp. And the bad thing about it is we see it all the time. If I got these nails done, if I got this hair done, but your child look a mess. Something wrong with that.
Yeah.
That's a disturbed person. You're looking for some problems. You better not mix and mingle with that. You better not have no kids with me.
Does that represent a degree of selfishness?
And you better not. Say it again.
Does that represent a degree of selfishness on that person's part?
The elevator ain't working. The priorities all jacked up. They have more concerned about the selfish person. They're not a real provider. Not even a mother. That's not even a mother.
Wow.
And I'm sorry to say that because some people saying, "Darn, I'm looking at my own self." Yeah, you're looking at yourself because you look good. Your hair done, your nails done, your feet done, your toes done, your car is fixed up, but your kids home, and you say,
Wow.
Yes, that's it.
That's terrible. That is absolutely terrible. We just
get on with. Let me date over with.
Totally.
I say it again. Let me get the heck out of here.
So at that point you're leaving.
Yeah, I miss that day. Won't be nothing this evening. We go back home watch TV. Watch Fred Sanford or something. We'll watch
something, man.
And you know what? And it's frustrating. I mean, it's bad to say, but the thing, and I know, we see this all the time.
And I knew this young lady in Colombia that was just like that. And we always had issues. we didn't date or anything, but I saw how she came out the house, man, and everything is already got, even to the point she got a little baby hair comb down, little baby hair brush, comb a little baby hair down. Everything is, she's looking real good. But them kids, Cassandra, them kids, she ain't do them kids right, man. She didn't do them kids right at all. And so I asked the question, Cassandra, how much of selfishness is that you will make sure that you on point, took all that time to take care of yourself, but no time to take care of your kids?
She's a hood rat. She's a hood rat. Ain't nobody want no hood rat. And that's like, ain't nobody want no scrub. Ain't nobody want no scrub. Ain't nobody got time for that. If a person is that selfish, that they're not concerned about their own flesh and blood, what would you want with them? Because once again, and like Annie said, it's women, especially women. I can talk about women because I'm a woman. Women are desperate. They do anything to get these men, and they literally push their kids aside sometimes in the pursuit of having a man. And that to me is the most selfish thing that anybody can do, male or female. But women do it, and it makes me nauseous. It makes me nauseous just thinking about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Donna, what does it say about a man that is okay with it? What does it say about him? If he have no issue with it, man, every time we go out, man, she looking good. What about them kids? Oh man, the kids gonna be kids, and they take that type of attitude. What does that say about him as a man?
You telling me?
Yes.
Man, you know what I always told my children? Keep your nose clean. Literally. Keep your nose clean. It really don't say much. As a matter of fact, excuse me again, I'm going to go to this corner with Linda, and she got her a fellow that's looking for a booty call. That's all you got.
Ain't nothing else there.
You ain't got no, ain't enough. Because if he see her like that, and he see children like that, and he don't say nothing, that's a player.
Wow. Cassandra, talk. Let me see. I think we have Rico with us. Rico, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good deal. Now, what does that say about the young lady, Rico? She's on point. Everything is good. Everything is good. But them kids, man, hair ain't done, hair look a mess, clothes dirty, half ripped up, and all kind of things. Rico, how would you deal with that young lady?
Well, it would depend on the atmosphere I met her in. If I met her and she was out and about putting in resumes, or trying to looking for a job, or maybe just going out being presentable, being her best self in public, then that would be sort of understandable, because maybe her living situation isn't the best. Maybe she's struggling, but at the same time, she's out here looking for this job, being the best, most presentable she can be. But now if I meet her in a club atmosphere and she does that, and then I go to that house and I see what you just described, that's a big indicator of her goals, of what her mindset is. She values more or less chasing. She's advertising in the wrong atmosphere in the first place. If I meet her in the club or out and about at a sports lounge or whatever, but she's struggling like that and looking like that, then I know she got her priorities messed up. So now this is one or two things I can do. If I decide to go a little bit further, because she seems like she has some type of morals about herself or some, potential, I'm gonna listen to her and see what she has to say. If I see she's in that situation and maybe her friends just invited her out and she decided to get out tonight because she hadn't been out in a long time and they helped fix her up so she can come out and meet somebody, that might be the situation. So I'm gonna go and see how she responds to her children. And if she acts the way if she acts like she doesn't care about those children, that she comes first and her vanity and all that comes first off, I hate to leave, because I know those children are going to be in that situation and other people are going to come around. But hopefully I can at least talk to her and make an effort to let her see by my actions, look, these kids come first. I might ask them questions. I might do little things. If I'm around them, I might go out of my way to show them some kind of attention to straighten up something that they might need corrected. And if I get any resistance from that, then I know to go the other way. If I see her sitting back watching like, wow, he helping with them children, they really need somebody like that. Then maybe I might still stay around a little bit. Like I said, because it all depends on it. Now if she's going out every weekend trying to kick it with the girl to live her best life, you already know what that indicates. That comes first in her life. But there can be situations where we have to observe and discern, just look at the atmosphere of what she's really doing, how she carries herself, and see what might have her in your presence looking like that. Because she, like I said, she could have just been invited out with some of her friends or something.
Okay. But see, my thing is, once I look at them kids, and I understand what you're saying, and you have a great point, but once I look at them kids, and I see she's just to the nine, and then I look at them, I look at her, look at them, I look at her, and I look at them, and I let her alone. One of these things ain't like the other, bro. One of these things, something ain't right with you here. Cassandra, what do you say to that?
Yeah, I mean, everybody is pretty much saying the same thing. There are certain indications that you get that there's something wrong. And the first red flag for me would be how the person treated their children. And no mother should be decked out and your kids look anything but decked out. When me and my kids stepped out the door, everybody was on point.
Yes.
Everybody, from the top to the bottom, everybody. And they like that to this day. My daughter and my son, everything has to match, everything. So I made sure that I took care of them the way that I wanted to see them take care of themselves. And I was a single parent for years and working 2 jobs to try to make, everything good and moving into the right environment. It cost me because I had to work so much, but I wanted to see that my children had a better opportunity than I had. I wanted to make sure that they experienced things that I didn't get to experience, vacations. My family didn't go on no vacation. Once or twice during the summer, we might make it to the beach, but we lived on the beach almost, so it's just about how you present yourself, and you don't have to have a lot to make sure that your kids are clean. You can wash those clothes, you can iron them. It may not be the best quality, but you can make it look like it's top quality.
Even if you got and I've seen people do this, man, put the clothes in the sink or a tub and wash them clothes right there and hang them up so that they stay clean, man. And these are some of the things that you have to do. If you don't have the wash and dry and all of that, there's a way you can do this thing. Wash the clothes in the tub, clean them out real good in the tub, then take them and hang them up somewhere, let them dry, and now the next day your clothes are ready. So, Donna, what's on your heart, brother?
Yeah, there's always goodwill. You don't have to shop at Macy's or all these high price stores. You don't have to do that.
Yeah.
It's really, and then don't be so proud. Now, Rico brought up the point. You got to look at the big picture. Because some women, especially single moms, are trying to get out of situations. So they make themselves presentable when they go outside and they struggle at home. So they dress their future, if it makes sense. We don't have to. We don't only have to speak those things as though they are word. We have to present ourselves the way that we desire to be. So Rico brought up the point, because now if they're clubbing, that's a different thing.
Yeah, we be clubbing.
But if you try, drinking this, I don't know, Cylock or whatever you call that, or whatever, high rock or whatever you call it.
What you call what you call it, daughter?
High rock, Zyrock, I don't know. I know he got a rock on it.
You trying to say Ciroc? You know what he's trying to say, Rico? Ciroc?
I think. Is that what it is? Ciroc?
Yeah.
But the kids eating cereal 3 times a day. If they got milk and putting water in that.
Yeah.
You know?
The struggle is real, brother.
We want to live.
The struggle is real.
And you know what I'm saying is it happens every day. We see it. It's clear. I mean,
I'm gonna tell you something.
And then you know,
hey, Donald. Michael Jackson had a line in his I think it was The Man in the Mirror. He had a line in the song that's still to this day one of the most powerful lines I've ever heard in a song. And maybe I'm taking this thing too hard, too much. But he said, "I see the children in the street without enough to eat. Who am I to be blind, pretending not to see their needs?" How often do we do pretending not to see their need? You know, and how often is that we have a neighbor or we know of someone, man, maybe in the workplace that we know is, you know, doing the best that he or she can, but you know they're just, you know, falling short. How often do we pull up, man, and say, "Look at here," with grocery bags full of food, and just take it to the house? Say, "Look at here, you was on my heart. I was thinking about you, and I just want to drop this off to you. Take some money out the pocket, put it on the counter just in case they need something else," and walk out. Where have we gotten? Well, we don't do that anymore, dog. We don't do that anymore.
Selfish. It's me. It's a me, my, and I. And unfortunately, it's the way of society. It starts. And I hate to even go to the point where we go to the White House and we can talk about the churches, how we are. You know, we are now, since we're at the social media reign, you know, churches, we're doing the Hollywood, and we stop ministry. Which, you know, I don't want to go there, but it's people are struggling.
Yes.
This pandemic and the struggle was already real. Then people got their little stimulus check, they wasted that. They got their unemployment, they wasted that.
Yes.
And then sooner or later, those that have been manipulating that system, they're going to get caught up. But people are struggling, and they've been struggling, and they're struggling even more now because not only did their rent not get paid, they getting put out.
Yes.
They got somebody right now sleeping in their car.
Yeah.
And they've been doing that. You know, they take a bath at the gas station.
Come on.
And we looking around and we got it all together. You know, it's me, my, and I. I'm trying to get mine. Rich, you know, rich and the famous and all that stuff like that. You know, if I don't help nobody, we're good.
Cassandra, I know your heart, and I know your heart for people. Why is it that we can know that someone in our community at work or whatever is having a real hard time? What happened to the day where we get together and go and get bags of groceries, go sell it on the countertop? You're just on my heart, and I just wanted to help you. Take some money out your pocket, put it on the counter before you leave. What happened to those days? Cassandra? Oh, did we lose Cassandra? I think we lost Cassandra. Rico, what happened to those days, brother?
They left with the days of media attention. So now people only do it when they think it's a good idea, so somebody can praise them for it. Other than that, they just want to talk about you because I think it's society has got to where they want to keep up with the Joneses. You know, so they try to keep up with the trends. I mean, and so we've got so comfortable with downrating people that are struggling criticizing them, picking at them, you know. I mean, think about it. It happened in the elementary school with a lot of them. Think about the children that got picked on, that had the raggedy coat, or didn't have a coat, didn't have no socks on, or one sock on, one sock off, holes in the sock. Think about those that got picked on when they were young, and they couldn't help that. You know, that's one thing we have to keep in mind. These children, man, they can't help that. So, but what happened is society got selfish. It got self-centered, and the value system changed. You know, they care less about helping the next person and just making sure they were better than, so they didn't have to be shamed. And then some people won't accept that help because they think you know their business or they are shamed. You know, I go back to when the stimulus check first came out. That was funny that Donald brought that up. When the stimulus check first came out and they increased unemployment, you had a lot of, you know, many people that were trying to give out good advice on what they should do with that little extra money, even though it wasn't nothing. But you had people telling them, look, man, when y'all get this money, I hope y'all do this with it. I hope y'all do that with it. Don't go buying crab legs. Don't go buying nails and this and that. And then you had some many more people that had, I thought, sense, would go back and say, quit trying to tell these people what to do with their money. What they do with their money, let them come on Facebook and flash their money if they want to. Let them be great. This is the first time they get it. No, don't keep condoning ignorant behavior or low standards. I mean, these people actually embraced that $1,200 and they bragged about it. They was, I mean, people was on Facebook taking pictures with it like they went out and earned that little $1,200. That $1,200. And so I saw the uproar about it. It was a whole lot of, you know, a lot of people just went mad about getting that free money. So it really goes to show you the standards of society, man. I mean, oh man, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say.
And see, the thing about it, this whole thing with surrounding that money, folks, I'm still trying to figure out why number 45 had to put his name on it. I'm still trying to figure out why he had to do that. Why was it so important that he put his name on the check? And then if you break that thing down, only thing they gave you is $100 a month. That's all they gave you.
That's all.
They gave you $100 a month. That's all they gave you. 30 days, we're gonna give you $100. 30 more days, we're gonna give you another $100. Come on, man. What did they really do? They just give it to you in a bulk amount at one time, but it's only $100 a month.
Something to distract you.
Yeah, exactly. So Tucson, what they gave you $100 a month, and they want to make it seem like they gave you this great big old thing. They bulked it up, put it in one payment, gave it to you. What did they really do?
If you don't have nothing and you're used to not having nothing, $1,200 is not gonna do you anything.
Yeah.
Because most of the time, you know, it kills me that the day after or the same day you got $1,200, you got a party. Oh, it's a party at my house now.
Exactly.
Got the barbecue pit kicking out. It's kicking out, and you call if you got a job. You call in to work. Ain't nothing.
Exactly.
It's 2 days.
Yeah, and a half.
Yeah, and top it all, you buy a 52-inch screen TV. Do you notice every time something happens, like income tax or we getting some money, something like that, they put the TVs up front at Walmart?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Because they know what you're gonna buy. They know what you're gonna buy.
And you got a little bit of car. And you got the TV tied to the roof.
Exactly.
And then and I always wait 3 months and go get it at the pawn shop.
Yep. Because it's gonna be there. It's definitely gonna be there.
It's gonna be
That's
there.
your lottery ticket at that moment. That's your lottery ticket. Because you're gonna use that TV, go to the pawn shop, pawn it or sell it, so you can get some money. Because I see it all the time, man. People pay for what they want, and beg for what they need. We got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Good morning. This is Bishop.
Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Man, I'm blessed. How about everyone else?
Hey, doing good, doing good. We got a couple of things going on right now. Our topic, I'm gonna throw the topic at you. Now, you've probably been listening already. You been listening?
Yeah, I've been listening.
Okay, let's go back to the topic. They are your kids, not mine. You're dealing with this young lady. You're a single man. You got kids, and y'all get into a conversation about the kids. And for whatever reason, in the heat of that conversation, she look at you, Bishop, look you right in your eyes, and say, "I don't even know why you talking to me about this. They're your kids. They ain't mine." What happens next?
Then I graciously accept that comment and focus on taking care of my kids.
Do y'all stay together?
Yeah, I'm not gonna break up over a little conversation. But in the midst of the relationship, if she starts mistreating my children, then we're gonna have a problem, and I'm gonna send her way back because my children. This ain't gonna be a Sleeping Beauty situation. It ain't gonna be one of those where you hook up with me, and if something happened to me, you gonna dog my children out and treat them bad. That ain't gonna happen. So in a relationship, if we're discussing anything and you turn and the woman turn around and say, "But they're yours," okay, I hear, man, you're right. You're right. But
Bishop, let me ask you.
Who these children, who they belong to, and how I expect them to be treated.
But let me ask you this question: If to me, this is just me talking. You speak from how you feel about it. But my thing is this right here: if she say that to me, I'm not too comfortable with staying with her, because if something were to happen to me and I find myself in a situation where I cannot take care of the kids, I can't rely on her. I can't count on her because she's already shown me her heart about how she feels. Those are your kids, they're not my kids. So if something happened to me and me and you're supposed to be together, you're not gonna be too worried about taking care of them kids because they're mine, they're not yours. So what do you say to that?
Well, let's back it up. Now, the question that was asked, I'm a single man. I'm a single father. I'm dating this lady.
Yes.
Now, dating this lady and being married to this lady is two different things. Now, if we're married and that comes out of her mouth, I'll have to remind her that we're one. And what is mine is thine. So we have to understand where we are. Dating, that's why I think that's what you put on me. The answer, dating. Now, married, that's altogether a different story. And if you're dismissing them now while we're dating, so it's not a down the road argument that we're having about the children. You've been acting a funny way towards my children ever since we've been together. So if you're gonna act this way, then we're gonna have to have a serious conversation. But just like most people, you've already got it set up. If anything happens to me, who gets the children or where the children are gonna go to? Because I cannot just throw my children, which would be her stepchildren, off on her if she's already not acting like a mother to them. So, yeah.
I understand what you're saying, Bishop. Let me go to Rico. Rico, what do you say to that, man? Because my thing is, once she said that to me, that disqualified her as in any part of my life. That's just me talking. Y'all might feel different. But what do you say to that, Rico?
I mean, that's pretty much the way I handled it. I mean, we stayed friends. It pretty much became a point in time where I realized that we wasn't gonna go any further. She wasn't gonna be the stepmother or the substitute mother for my children that I needed her to be because of the type of father that I was gonna be. I wanted to give them that type of atmosphere when they came around that I would have wanted to give them in the household with a mother and a father. And she's not with that. So now if I understand that in the process of dating, sooner or later I got to realize I'm wasting my time dating this woman because she can't become my wife. She doesn't accept my children as me. That's part of me. So it becomes a point in time where you might just have to accept what it is and move on. She might be kind, she might be successful, she might meet all of the qualities that you look for in a woman. But if she don't accept your seed like she accepts you or love your seed the way she loves you, then you can't expect her to ever have any kind of empathy or compassion for them the way she should.
That's good. Tucson, what do you say to that, brother? What's on your heart? Let me get a number. People asking for the number again. People asking for the number again. 678-381-1973. 678-381-1973. Give us a call. We'd love to have your input. 678-381-1973. Talk to me, Donald.
Yeah, you know, they got career builders.
Mm-hmm.
You know, men and women, they're career builders. And that's what they want to do. Nothing wrong with that. But they don't want no kids around them. And if you have a career builder, which is a good thing, and they look at kids like little devils, you better not get around them. Because people will do your children something when they don't care for them.
Yeah.
Not saying that they, well, you know, they if they won't do something physically, they have mental abuse. Then they'll do it when you're not around. That's why you don't leave your children with just anybody, just because they look good.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Tell you.
Now, Bishop, let me ask you this question here. And you're right, Donald. Let me ask you this question here. You work a lot of hours. You work a lot of hours, and this young lady, she don't work as much. She be at home around the kids a lot more than you do, and she does a good job. Let's just, for the sake of the conversation, let's just say she do a real good job with the kids. But something happened one day, and one of the kids become unruly, and they act up real bad. She says, "You wait till your daddy get home. I'm going to tell your dad. I'm going to tell your dad what you did." You come home, Bishop, and she tell you everything that happened. Bring the child before y'all. Y'all sit there. Y'all talking to the child. You look at her. Would you tell her that you should have tore his behind up, and give her the right to discipline that child, even though she's not the biological mother? Would you give her the right to discipline that child, or would you want her to wait until you come home so you could be the disciplinarian? What do you say to that, Bishop?
If someone is watching my children, I explain to the children, you better not act up. If the person, which is an adult, then they're disciplining the child without breaking their arm or killing them, then I have no problem with them disciplining the child. And instead of, and when I get home and this person, my girlfriend, or my new wife, decides they want to let me know what the child did, of course, I'm going to bring the child in and find out what they did, why they did it, and why they felt it was necessary to disrespect this person in that way. And then I too will whoop them. If you're going to be my babysitter, I'm going to give you some latitude to do what you need to do to discipline these children. So these children mess around, run all over you, and they'll think Daddy is going to let me do it, and I can get away with, quote, murder. And now she needs to straighten them out. And in a relationship, and you got to be willing to accept certain things, and you have to lay your personal feelings aside if we're gonna have a relationship. And if I can digress, I dated a girl some years, many moons ago, that had 2 children. Well, I treated the children very well. They were not mine, but she started to tell the children to call him Daddy. And I said, no, don't call me Daddy. You can call me Uncle Greg. Don't call me Daddy, because I'm not your daddy. And I don't need your biological father coming over here trying to act up on me. So I accept that. But like I explained to the young lady, you know, if I'm going to be in a relationship with you and your child acts up in my presence, I'm going to get your child. One thing she says to me, don't nobody whoop my children. I say, okay, well, deuces. See you later.
Donald, what do you say?
You don't know you're getting married, and you don't allow me to bring this child, reel this child in from their misbehaving. Then when we get married, the same way she's doing now, they're gonna do it in our relationship.
Exactly.
And then they think,
exactly. That's right. Donald, what do you say to that, man? At what point do you give, or do you give at all her the permission? Call a mutual line for me. Call a mutual line for me. Do you give them permission? Do you give them permission to discipline their child, or do you do it at all, Donald? Donald, you there? Donald, wait.
Yeah, I was talking on mute. I was talking on mute. I had a good conversation with myself.
Did you answer?
Yes.
Okay. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. He said yes. Do you give them permission? In that whole scenario, you know, you're away at work. She's there with the kids. One of your kids act up real bad, and she said, "I'm gonna tell your daddy when I get here what you did." Do you tell her when you get home in front of that child, tear his behind up, or do you say, "Yeah, you did good. Yeah, I take care of it now. Now that I'm here, I take care of it." What do you do, Donald?
You don't do nothing quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I say this because if you're not clearly, if you don't know them clearly, you don't give them too much. You take care of it. That's why I say that I tell them, go see your mama. If they act up with me,
mm-hmm.
you need to go see your mama.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've raised my children best I could, and I don't count to 3. I'm not counting to 10.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's discipline. I ain't gonna punch him.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but there is some discipline for children.
Yes.
Me. It's just me.
Mm-hmm.
But if until we know that we're in a relationship that is in a marriage, I don't fool with people, children, and I don't let them fool with mine. I'm serious about that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because if it don't work, or if it's not lasting, or if you find out they're abusive, then you will act up with them, and you got more problems than you need. So until the relationship is solid, y'all deal with each other, your own children,
mm-hmm.
in a way.
Okay.
That's just, because if you don't, you have to be more concerned with the child than so that makes sense,
mm-hmm.
than that person.
Absolutely.
Because that person might not be right.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Rico, coming to you, and Leonard coming to you next. Rico, what do you do in that situation, man? Do you tell her, you should have wore his behind or her behind out? Or yeah.
Well, hopefully we both have an understanding of how we discipline children, and then number 2, it depends on the type of relationship they have. I mean, if she's proven herself to be the real deal substitute mother, she's nurturing and she's built a relationship, a bond, or maybe she's attempted to, but my child is a little difficult, and the only way they act right is when I come around. But she want to keep her hands off because she don't want to offend them. I'm still gonna put her in a situation where, okay, look, you're doing all the right things, you got the right intentions, you coming from the right place, and what you are saying is correct. Take care of business. You have my permission to take care of business, because when he needs you to be that mother figure in his life and you are doing that, or she needs you, they don't have a problem with it. So that's a situation where I'm gonna give her the okay, yeah, tear them up. Quit letting them push over you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But then, she might not believe in that. But if she believes in it, hopefully she does take care of that business the right way. But if she doesn't have a good relationship with him and she's some of the problem, I wouldn't give her. I would prefer her to say, I'm gonna let your daddy handle that.
Yeah. That's good. Leonard, hey sir, how you doing, Leonard?
What's going on, man?
Hey, doing good to have you back, brother. We're asking a question, the discipline part of it. You with this young lady, she's not the biological mother, but she's always in the child life. Y'all stand together, and you work all the time. But one particular day, Leonard, for whatever reason, one of your children act up, and she said, "Well, I'm gonna tell your daddy when I get home." You get home and you in front of both of them. Do you tell her you should have told his behind up, or you should have told her behind up, or do you say, well, I'm glad you waited. I got home. I got it from here. What do you do, Leonard?
Well, first one, we're not tearing nobody up. That's one.
Mm-hmm.
But one, we already have rules in place for discipline. So one, whatever we discussed before then, when it comes to discipline, is what we would do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, me, if it's my child or what have you in this situation.
Hey, Leonard, your volume is real low, brother. Your volume is real low.
Oh, okay. If it was my child in that particular situation, my child should already know. You need to do whatever she asks you to do.
Mm-hmm.
If it ain't like that when I get back, guess what? Me and you gonna have a situation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. Bishop, what's on your heart?
Do you remember the village raising the children?
Yes, sir.
So when I grew up, our neighbors saw us doing wrong. They were disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
Then when we get home, they already called my parents and told them. So now I got two whoopings. What's the difference of that same family or that same village doing the same thing in this so-called relationship between a man and a woman? Children have a tendency to try to play.
Yes, sir.
Against play dad against mama or boyfriend against girlfriend, however you want to look at it. Children have a tendency of trying to do that. Well, as it relates, if you're my girl, you're staying with me, you live with me. These are my children. I'm now a single dad, but I now have a girlfriend to live with me. If I don't give her the ability to discipline the child, then the relationship is not going to go anywhere because the children are going to do what they do and cause this relationship to break up.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, and it has happened in marriage because one father wants to be the disciplinarian and the mother doesn't because she never got a whooping growing up. And she don't think that whooping or that form of discipline is necessary. Well, everybody has a different spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't know how to reel those spirits in, then we're going to have a problem.
Yeah.
So I look at it in real time. If I'm in a relationship and this lady lives with me, she may not be the biological mother, but she is now acting as a mother. She does all these nice things. She treats my children good.
Mm-hmm.
And then they act up. I wait till your dad gets home. I'm going to tell her. You lose all authority.
Yes, that's exactly where I was about to go. Yep. Go ahead.
So go ahead on, do what you need to do. Tell me, and I'll make sure myself that never happens again.
Mm-hmm.
Because after you discipline them, then I'm going to discipline.
Mm-hmm.
And disciplining the child goes in two different ways. It's verbal and physical.
Mm-hmm.
This person may choose to fuss at them and let me know when I get home, then I'm going to whoop their tail.
Mm-hmm.
But if this person chooses to whoop them, then I may not whoop them. I may fuss at them, put them on punishment, or I may whoop them again.
Mm-hmm.
It's just contingent. Just depends on the situation.
I'm gonna tell you something. And I'm gonna dig into my personal a little bit here. I had growing up on my mother's side, my mom had 6 brothers and 2 sisters. It was 9 of them. Man, I'm gonna tell you something. I would rather, growing up, I'd rather get a whooping than to listen to them women. Because I had one aunt. She's going home to glory now. Well, both my mom's sisters going home to glory. But one aunt, Margie was her name. This girl, man, she would talk, man. She talking, nagging. Man, listen, just get a belt to one of my uncles and let them do what they gotta do or whatever. Get my whooping and let this thing be. I'd rather take a beating than to hear, man, listen, Rico. I'd rather take sometime, man. And I've always been that way, man. Just if I gotta get a whooping, let's give him a whooping. Let's go and get it over with, and let me move on with the rest of my day. What you say to that, Rico?
I know how you feel, man. I had a 6th grade teacher that was like that. From the 1st grade through the 6th grade, that woman my mama could use her as leverage to get me to do what she wanted me to do.
Mm-hmm.
and my stepdad. I mean, even though I went through what I went through, I still could be pretty defiant sometimes. And they could tell me, they could threaten me, I'm gonna call Miss Joshua. And I would get right.
Yeah.
I would get right. It was Miss Joshua and it was my grandmother that raised me. My grandmother that raised me, she could give me a look. And it said everything you need to say. I'm like, you know what, man, I would rather you just went ahead and told me to just pull my pants down and bend over. Gonna get you can put your hands up on that wall and take this strap. Cause that look you just gave me, it just told me to pieces. When I tell you that look of disappointment and you know better and you look stupid at the same time. It was just 1,000 different things and all of it was bad. It was crushing. So yeah, I know how that feels, man. But Bishop said something about the village. And you know, I really had to think about that because I think about the village a lot too in that concept. But I really had to think about the atmosphere of today and what I witnessed myself. And I'm gonna be honest with you. People have such a misconception about relationships, having a man, having a woman, what it takes to have a real positive relationship, that some of these relationships don't last but 4 or 5 months.
Yep.
And then it's on to the next. But they got the concept made up that when they move into the house, they are the men of the house. So some of these children are being disciplined by so many different people that because the concept of discipline and bringing the people around your children, and maybe they're thinking with that village concept, or he's a man of the house. But yeah, you got a different man of the house every 5 months.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But these children got to fall in line over what he say because now you done chose and made him the man of the house. Just the new one on deck. You know, so I mean, you know, it's like the atmosphere has changed where people really can't trust the village because they aren't familiar enough with the village. They're not connected enough with the next door neighbor. They moving, the neighbors moving out just as fast as the spouses and the partners.
Exactly. Now, let me ask you this. Is it an issue if a young lady has a son? The son is 13, 14 years old, and she's instilled in his mind that he's the man of the house. She's instilled in his mind that he's the man of the house, and then she meet you, Rico. Now you coming in, you infringing on his territory because he's the. Do you think a woman should put that in her son's mind that he's the man of the house?
You know, yesterday when I said that to Chris about using words about saying she the mama and the daddy.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes children take that literally, and then they start acting out, and then you start wondering why they got this attitude or why they act difficult with every man that you bring around. Some of these men might be quality men, but the way they look at it, this their house, and even though you their mama, you their woman too. Now I don't want you talking to this. It's all about me, what I want. This is my house. I do what I want to do. So I mean, you know, we really have to be careful of what we intend for these children to do, and then what they actually hear. You know, and like when Chris said that yesterday, she was like, I don't think you get what I'm saying. I'm like, I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is that child over the last few decades, children have been hearing that phrase. I'm the mama and the daddy. I'm the mama and the daddy. So now we wondering why a lot of these women run around here thinking they the man of the house. You know what I mean? They literally thinking they the man of the house, but they looking past the reality that they're not the man of the house. But they heard mom say, I'm the mama and the daddy, instead of just saying, you know what? I got to do everything on my own.
Yeah, exactly.
It's even more simple to say it that way. And
that's why I said yesterday, man, you're a mother at with elevated responsibility. You're a mother with and that's why I say you'll never be the dad. You can't be a dad. You're a mother with elevated responsibilities. Leonard, what's on your heart, man? What do you think about these young ladies making these little boys think that they're the man of the house, and then here come Leonard, and who is taking on the father figure and as a father role? Now you got this little boy poking this little chest out at you, thinking that you coming in here to take over his territory. He got air in his jaws. Leonard, what do you do?
That's why you need men to raise boys. Because women don't know the rules to that. They're women. Women generally believe they can do and say whatever they would like to do anytime they want to do it without consequence. But for men, that's not true. You learn to respect people, and you learn to work with people with more of a team type of effort to do things. And you definitely understand who's the captain of the team.
Come on.
Like I say, once a man gives that up, he's useless.
Yeah.
I mean, you useless. Because I believe sons should protect their mothers. Now, if you got a boy in your house and he's around that particular age, guess what? As soon that man you let come over your house start raising his voice at you, that boy gonna have a problem with that.
Yeah.
See, them girls may go somewhere and sit down, but that boy gonna have a problem with that.
Exactly.
I'm not telling you something. I'm not telling you something I heard. I'm telling you something I don't.
Exactly. Now, Bishop,
there's just a lot of things that comes with from being a man. You have that experience that a woman don't have.
Bishop, I'm gonna ask you a question, and it may seem a little comical when I ask you the question, but I really want you to think about it though. A young lady often would say, I'm the man, I'm the father and the mother in this household. I'm the man and the woman in this household. I got this. Have you ever heard a man say, a single man raising his kids, say, I'm the mother and the father in this house? See what I mean? You see what I mean?
Yeah, I ain't never heard a man say that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
That don't mean right coming out of a man's mouth.
Exactly.
Mama and the dad.
Exactly.
It don't make sense.
Exactly.
No. Yeah, and it doesn't sound right for a woman to say it either, because she ain't the man and the woman, and she ain't the mama and the dad. She's just the mother. And with elevated responsibility, I like the way you phrase that. Yeah. Elevated responsibility. Things will change. You got to take on certain roles, and you got to do your best. But a woman can never teach a man how to be a man, because she's not a man.
Come on. And we got some sisters out there listening right now. If you feel, give us a call, 678-381-1973, 678-381-1973, or simply text what you want to say in the message box, and I'll read it. But what do you say about this, young lady? You know, ladies are oftentimes say, I'm the man and the woman, I'm the father and the mother in this household. I've never heard a single father, and I know single fathers out there that's raising their children and doing a great job, but I've never heard them say, I'm the father and the mother in this house. Rico, talk to me.
I had custody of my oldest sons one time, and it wasn't legally. I just went and got them. I told them, I said, you know, pack their bags, I'm coming to get them. If you don't give them to me, it's gonna be a problem. And she said, okay. I'm like, wow, no resistance. Went and got them, and that bond we had that year, man, that was a rough year too, being a single father. You know what I'm saying? Because on top of that, I was still paying child support to her. So, you know, she was reaping the financial benefits. You know, she had time to go get another baby while I was having mine. Had mine with me. So one Mother's Day, my son was in Head Start, my second oldest son, and I walked into school to pick him up, and all of the teachers were gathered around my son's teacher. Like, you know, it was a specific time that I normally come through and pick them up. And when I came through, you know, I didn't think nothing about it. I knew they had all kind of activities for, you know, Mother's Day. They had them making cards and this and that. And one of them said, oh, this the one? This the one? I was like, well, what's going on? So when I get on to the teacher and she tell me that they made Mother's Day cards, I'm like, oh, that's good. You know, I want to get an update on what they did that day.
Yeah.
And she said, well, you know, when Dre Sean came and asked me what to put on the card or why would we be making cards, and I told him it was because you wanted to give thanks to your mother for doing this and doing that and doing this for you. And he looked at it and he said, well, I need to be making this card for my daddy. So that's why they were waiting to see me, because that touched them when they heard a little boy say that. But I never did go back and say, you know what? Yeah, I'm doing her job just as good as she doing too, because I still knew that I couldn't get them to nurturing It was just that I tried to do what needed to be done to fill the gaps that she didn't fulfill at that time. But me just saying something, that would be self-glorifying. And actually to hear a man say that wouldn't be glorifying. But that's a pat on my back. I'm more than. And like I said, to me, when you say that to a child, that child is taking that literally. That you something extraordinary, you a different type of woman.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just it can work out very negative. It can work out in a negative situation. Making that child a man of the house, like you said. When that man comes around and you got a 13-year-old son that's been told that he can do what he want to do, and you let him get away with murder because you want to make sure he ain't no punk.
Yeah.
But that man tell him, hey, look, man, you need to stop doing what you're doing, because if you don't, you're gonna end up in the system or you're gonna end up dead. And he handle your potential spouse a certain way that's disrespectful to the point of where your spouse has to defend himself, and then he kill your spouse.
Yeah.
Because I know a situation where that has happened. You know, and so I'm like, you know, that's the result of a man being made to believe that he's the man of the house, especially when his dad is an OG gangster.
Yeah.
That live that same lifestyle. This your daddy. I mean, I know a guy right now that got like 30 kids around him. He died when we were like 33, or got killed when we were like 33. We might have been 26. He was young. But these children uphold and glorify these local legends based off of all of the nonsense they made their names off of, and then they are made to believe they need to uphold that legacy. So this boy has actually surpassed his father. He didn't get killed. He actually did the killing. So he's the man of the house.
Wow. Let me ask you this question, man. How ridiculous does it sound if a man were to say, I'm the father and the mother up in here? How ridiculous does that sound? Look at Rico.
So far as saying of it being so ridiculous, it don't make sense. It's not true. It's not true. It's something you're telling yourself. So, you know, like Rico was telling you before, in situations from folks in our generation, this is not ending well in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
I learned a lot of this from my younger brother, who has had to manage it and doing it the way he has had to do it because of his children and the mothers of his children. Somebody got to step up and be the leader, and everybody needs to understand who's in charge. It don't work no other way.
Yeah.
You have to have extreme co-parenting models and everything to make sure, even though you may not be in the best relationship, but at least come up with the best co-parenting model for the child's sake. And one of those things is not to cause confusion and to misrepresent details and things. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, exactly. Bishop, talk to me, Bishop. How does that sound ridiculous to you? I'm the mother and the father up in here. How a dude to say that, man? Is that ridiculous?
That is utterly ridiculous. It is the most absurd statement anyone could ever make as it relates to who they are identifying themselves as both mother and father. When it comes down to it, as I was listening to Rico as he was talking, and he told the stories about his son, and then the other guy, the young man who surpassed his dad to become the killer. Children are like sponges. They're minds. They receive what is being told to them, and then they take it in the way in which it was given. I can play both roles. I can be both mom and dad. This is why our society is going away a little bit backwards, because nobody wants to work where they're supposed to be working.
Yeah.
They want to do everybody else's job. You know, I want to be the man and the woman. I did a lot of evangelistical work for a number of years, and I traveled and I went overseas and, you know, preached in the Philippines. I was there 3 years, and then to Brussels, Belgium, then went over to Germany, then went to Africa, then went to Jamaica running revivals. So I was always going, and my boys, they were growing up. So my wife had to deal with the responsibility of raising helping raise the children while I was doing the Lord's work. So when I did come home, or when I would come home during whatever break I had, they would be mad at their mom. I'm so glad they're at home. But while I'm talking to my wife on the phone and whatever, I said, do what you need to do. Whoop them. Don't not whoop them. Don't wait till I get home and tell me. You do what you need to do.
Yeah.
But let them know your dad will be home on such and such day. And I got a list. I'm gonna give it to him. So when I get home, I regulate. Even though she has already done it, hey, I'm gonna come in because I support what she is doing. She made them know, hey, yeah, I'm mom. And right now, I have to hold things down while dad's away. So trust me, when he gets home, it's gonna be on. My oldest son talked about it. Man, my mama whooped me for everything. I said, well, how did you turn out? You're a doctor, aren't you? Did it kill you? No. Mama was so mean. I said, no, mama had to hold things down while I was away. But look at you now. How many times you spend a night in prison? Not one. You went on and got, your bachelor's, you got your master's, now you got your PhD. Now look how you turned out. Then he thought about it, said, she wasn't you. But I'll tell you what, she sure was her.
Yeah.
And I laughed. So she did what I needed her to do, hold things down. But she never said, I'm mama and dad.
Exactly. Talk to me, Rico.
I agree with him. I definitely agree with him, man. I mean, like I said, you got to have some quality people in your life. Whether you got children or not, you want to always have quality people surrounding your atmosphere, your environment. If you got the right people around, then you can trust that they won't be manipulating you to abuse your children.
Leonard, mute your line, Leonard. Go ahead, Rico.
Yeah, you can trust them if they're quality, not to abuse your children or try to play you against them. Because, I mean, you have some sinister people out here. I mean, and like I said, if you are going into it for the wrong reason, if you get with this woman just because she can match you financially, but she got a nasty attitude about herself and she don't know how to talk to your children because only thing she know how to do is be fabulous. And it might be at your children's expense. She might be, some people are brutally honest. They don't made it so high up, they just opinions, they can just say what they want to say out their mouth. And then they might feel that way with your children, but your children might not be prepared to receive that type of attitude. They might not know how to handle that. So I mean, quality person, all that really is very important. You leaving, like what Bishop said, that was very important that he had somebody he could trust.
Yes.
To do that with his children, because some people, I mean, man, it's so many different ways that could have gone if he didn't have the right person in place that he knew would do the right thing for the best interest of him and his children and her, the whole family unit. She had to embrace him and his children all together as one. That was one whole love. She embraced him as hers. So that that's a lot of trust in that. You should trust somebody like that.
Exactly. Minister Neil, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
How's everybody?
Hey, doing good. We're asking a question. We're talking about, our topic is they're your kids, not mine. But we're at a point right now where we're talking about the young ladies, and they'll say something like, "I'm the father and the mother in the house. I'm the father and the mother in the house." And we had a conversation. I think it was yesterday, wasn't it, Rico? We had a conversation yesterday where we were talking about this very thing, and I said, no, a lady can't be the father and the mother. She cannot be the father. She can have an elevated responsibility as a mother, but she can never be the father. What do you say to that when a lady say, "I'm the father and the mother" up in here?
Well, I think you pretty much said exactly what it is that she cannot be. She can claim to be, but she can trick herself to be. And I say trick yourself because sometimes what happens is that we have our outside forces come in. Now, she probably have to take on a different set of hats and rules. Like I was hearing Bishop said that he left his kids with his wife. sometimes I think that what we have to do is that we got to understand something. That's part of being a parent. And we want to elevate ourselves to be like these superheroes when you know that's part of your job is being a parent. And we have to stop trying to make it out to be like it's a phenomenon or something that has some merit to it, because being a good parent shouldn't be a pat on the back. It should be an honor. It should be something that as the Bible has declared that the children are a gift from God. So why are you should cherish God's gift. That's part of that's part of him. So why are you saying, oh, I do this and I do that? You should be doing it because you should be cherishing God's gift. Again, that's why I can never understand why people always make it seem like it's such a big, it's a mountain, like they'll climb the mountain. Oh, I did this for my child. You're supposed to, if you look at the gospel. And again, that is God's gift. So why don't you cherish God's gift?
Come on.
That's just this boggles my mind. This boggles my mind.
Now, I said this earlier. I know you was listening, and as comical as it may sound, how ridiculous is it if a man say, "I'm the single father, I'm the mother and the father up in here"? How ridiculous! Yeah. Come on.
I'm sorry. I've never heard that, so I can't really. I've never heard that.
And the reason why
I never heard it.
No. And my thing is this right here. As ridiculous as it sounds, if a man said, it sounds equally as ridiculous if a woman said. Now, a woman said all the time. Now, I've never heard a man say that, and I hope I never do. But my thing is, it sounds equally as ridiculous if it comes from either party.
I feel like this. It's just like when I preach. People tell me, Pastor, you sure gave a good word. You've been around. I correct them plenty of times. I said, no, that wasn't me. I said, I was just an empty vessel. And the water that was poured out came from heaven.
Yes.
I don't take credit for that. So we have to step back for a minute and understand that we don't take credit for something that God has already has mandated and has already ordained. See, sometimes I'm this and I'm that. So what? Who told you that? Is that something that you trying to convince yourself? Or there's something that you know that you should be doing? That should be your obligation. Again, we go back to these children again and again and again. I keep telling people that's a gift from heaven. Every child is a gift. It's not a mistake. I don't care what society has told you. I don't care about it. Fellas, it's the same way. Don't let the courts tell you all you are is child support. You are that child's father. You have to understand that. I tell any woman, I don't care how much you say you don't need no man. But we both know if you had a child, a man been there. So you needed it and you wanted it. So let's stop playing these games and understand and just come together and just raise this child properly. That's all we need to do.
Exactly.
All the titles and all that cute stuff, I don't even entertain it.
Yeah, there you go. Good deal. Let me go to Leonard. Leonard, what's on your heart?
Oh, I'm listening. I'm listening from people with, experience and things like that, because it is an issue in our community. And we definitely need to have people, churches need to have parenting classes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Come on.
If you're gonna have a church, the church should really support their community in every way, shape, form, and fashion. And where you see a need, you have to minister to that need.
Exactly.
And it's not to be overbearing or anything, but I like how Minister Neal said, let's stop being so foolish and engaging in all the things that don't matter and just try to provide the best environment for the child.
Exactly. And Rico, I'm glad you brought that back to the table, because we also said, we got a caller. I'm going to come to you in 1 second. Minister, I want to hear your heart on this too. Young lady has a son, 13, 14 years old, and she instills in him, you're the man of the house. How destructive could that be to him? And then a man coming to the house as her significant other, and now you have the little boy, the teenager, thinking that this man is infringing on his territory because he's the man of the house. How destructive could that be to that little boy? Mr. Neal?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said somebody else. First, I truly believe that I don't believe in that we're infringing. I think what happens is that you as a man have this is opportunity to approach that young fella or that young man with the love that you should be displaying. And I say that because that's one of the things that we were talking about it yesterday that we lack is brotherly love. So you got to approach, and so I think once you come in love, a lot of things that we hear about the different young men out here that give a lot of pushback, it's because they thinking it's be free. They think you're just sleeping with their mom. That's what it is. That's all that's what they think. Oh man, I've heard young men say, yeah, I don't know how long he gonna stay. So he in subliminally he's saying, all you did is come over here to sleep with my mama. That's it. If you coming in good faith and you're coming in a way that you know that you're coming with love, it's not going to be a friction. It's not going to be an issue. But if you coming in and that's all he look at every time he see you, it's 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. What you think? He not a man, but he ain't stupid.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? He's growing into a man. I mean, some stuff I think we gotta really start giving these kids the respect that, I mean, I feel like this, he's there as a figure, but he's not the man of the house. And when you put those kind of bearings on these young men, they say, well, you the man of the house at 13. Are you serious?
No.
What bills are you paying?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? What bread are you bringing into the house? I mean, sometimes let's be realistic about this stuff. We giving folk these titles that don't even, they don't, come on. I would at 13, he's supposed to be out there playing football. He's supposed to be out there doing whatever.
Exactly.
You know, if anything, as a man, you need to tell them, say, hey, all right, now you're a nice looking boy, you little girls, man. Those are the conversations you need to have.
It's 10 apiece.
Him worrying about being a man in the house, think about the added pressure.
Exactly. Let me
That's why we have, I mean, but I'm going to say this. You wonder why sometimes these little boys out here, they're 12, 13 years old, and they run into the street and become dope dealers. That's one of the reasons why, because what we do, he the man in the house. So guess what? Every guy go out there and go get some real money.
Exactly. Let me go to this phone line. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from? Let her mute your line. Let her mute your line.
I'll make that $26 difference up.
Let her mute your line.
Does that sound like me, right?
Oh, that ain't you. I thought there was somebody in your background. Okay, we got some background coming from somebody, please. I thought that was you. Sorry about that, Leonard. But caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Calling from Jacksonville, Alabama.
Okay, you say Cedric? Hey, Cedric, how you doing, sir?
Rico, one of my classmates.
Hey, there you go. Hey, good deal.
What's going on, Sid?
What's that, Rico?
None of my brothers.
I hear you.
Now you
go ahead. I agree with a lot of what I've heard, and I have a little bit of perspective on it because I grew up in a single parent household. You know, my mama was, you know, she was my rock. She was my foundation. You know what I'm saying? And I look at a lot of the things that go on now that you have to deal with. And sometimes I think the perspective get a little distorted with what people say. You know, my dad went off on mission work. No, that wasn't why my mom was the head of household. My dad was off doing other things. He left us because he couldn't do what a man's supposed to do. That's stand up and be a man. So my mom had no choice but to be who she was. She had 2 boys and a daughter. I was her oldest. I was a little rough. I like the streets. So sometimes mama had to stand on my neck. And she couldn't be passive about it because a lot of the men around me wasn't good role models either.
Yeah.
So, my mom was the type, she said, hey, look here, this is what we going to do, this is what we not going to do. I remember when the drugs first hit, back when we was young, when they really got wild with the drugs and the crack and everything, she came to me and told me, she said, I'm never going to support it. She said, I done worked hard to get you where you at. I had to make sure you get this. Me and my dad, we didn't talk a lot because we stayed into it. But she always told me, that's your dad. Respect him. I don't care what he's doing. I don't care how bad his life is. I don't care where he's going. That's still your dad. That's a lot of what's lost.
Yeah.
See, sometimes the mama and I'm talking, she had just about absolutely no help from him. I mean, he was up here doing his thing. He had more children up there. He had drug and all kind of addiction. So, but my mama said, that's your dad. I ain't telling you got to run behind him or nothing like that, but still, that's your father. That's where your name come from. But now what I'm going to do is push you to do better than what he did. And she did that. Sometimes she had to knock me out to do it. Sometimes she had to threaten me. I used to tell her sometimes, I thought you was really going to kill me because she would tell me, hey, boy, I'll take you out. You're not going to walk on me in my house. You're going to come in here with respect. You're going to do what you told. You know what I'm saying? I was a little hard-headed with it. My brother was a little different, but I was a little hard-headed. She was like, hey, I'm going to do what it takes to try to get you here.
Yeah.
And I remember one time when I was about 16, a couple of my friends that got on at the chicken plant and everybody, and I went to my mom. I said, Mom, I'm of age now. I really ain't got to go to school. I said, I'm tired of the school thing. I said, I think I'm just going to go and get me something up here at the chicken plant. He said, boy, you've been my toughest challenge. She said, I done put you through summer school to make you graduate with your class. I done had to pay out money that I shouldn't have had to pay to get you here. She was like, son, you're going to get that diploma. If I have to walk it up there and get an honorary, I'll take you up here to I looked at her, I said, Mama, I'm going to this thing here. I said, I'm going to go to it. She said, you coming out of there. If I have to get that diploma while you're up there, she said, I work every day. Like intern. If I have to get that diploma while you're up there, you need it. So different when they say a woman can't teach a man how to be a man. But I started for that dope level. She told me, she said, you go to jail, looking at that little girl. She said, you ain't never seen me deal no dope. You ain't never seen me slang or smoke no crack. She said, if you're not going to go to school and get your education, get your job and take care of your family. And she pushed that. So what I become, and my brother the same way. Both of us got, our family, we take care of them, do what we're supposed to do for our family. But I can't say she really made me a man, but she pushed me in the right direction.
Yeah.
She always kept me steered in the right direction. Even when I saw the wrong direction out there. So I kind of see it as, I know they say a woman can't teach a man how to be a man, but she kept me in the correct direction to go to be a man.
Yeah, that's good.
So, and I that wasn't something because she just decided to do that. Sometimes I used to still sit down with them bills, and I told somebody a while back, I said, one thing I never had to endure in my household with my mom. I said, I never came home to a dark house. She kept the lights on. I said, it wasn't easy, but she kept the lights on. She kept the water on. She did what it takes to do the household. And she did it with very little help.
Yeah.
So
praise God.
A lot of times, I think, when I hear people talk, sometimes I think the men's side of it is like with the Adam and Eve thing. I heard somebody talking about Adam and Eve one time, and they said that one man said, look at this woman that you gave me. And when I read the Bible, I think it said Eve was the seed. Adam never was. He broke the commandment. God told him, do not eat from the forbidden fruit. So Eve never did break God's commandment. Adam did. He ate it, even though she brought it to him. He ate it. So, that was a weakness in him. Pretty much, they tricked her, and he just went along with the game plan. So, like I said, even in a man's house, sometimes I see the fact that a man have to stand up even when things look like they're trying to go different than what he think he should go. So if my wife bring me some fruit and I know I ain't supposed to eat it, now if I'm just weak enough to go and take it because she got it in her hand, that's kind of not her, that's me.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, I have a lot of perspective on it because, you know, I've seen both sides of the coin, being with a good wife, and you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I needed her to kind of say, hey, baby, look, you can't keep going this route right here. I'm not going to stay here.
Exactly. Cedric, hold on for 1 second. Hold on 1 second. I definitely appreciate you calling in, brother. I'm going to pull some more people into the conversation. Hold on. Don't go anywhere. Bishop, what's on your heart right now?
I'm going hearing that statement testimony from our good brother from Jacksonville, Alabama. I like hearing that. And that's just and that's the whole truth. A woman can't teach a man how to be a man, but she can direct him and instruct him on being a better person.
Yeah.
Getting your education. That's why, you know, when I refer back to my wife during my evangelical missions, traveling here and there to and fro, my wife didn't teach my son how to be a man, but she helped keep him on the straight and narrow. And doing so, yes, she has to discipline him. Yes, she has to keep him in line. And she takes credit a lot of times for him going as far as he did, instilling him to succeed in life and be the best he possibly can be. If you have children, take care of your children. And listen to the brother and how his dad was, you know, outdoing what he was doing. But his mama said, that's still your dad. You respect your dad. The relationship is there, but it's not like it would have been if he had been in the house doing what he needed to do. So instead of him following in his father's footstep of being whatever he was, he took mom's advice to be a better him. Not a better man, but to be a better him. And that's what he's become, a better person, because he learned, he saw, and he heard. The things that the mother said to him, don't drop out of school. I done did this, I done did that for you. Go ahead on, get this, you do that, and do this. That's what she taught him. But nature within itself teaches the man how he ought to be. It's embedded in him to be this way. Remember I said earlier how young people are like sponges. What they see is what they gravitate to. What they hear is what they retain, and they begin to apply what they have obtained or obtained. My grandson, he's the second. His sister's oldest, and everything that she does, he does. So I tell him, that's your sister.
Yeah,
she can play with the dog. I'm going to get you this toy over here because I don't want you to think that's okay. Then I saw him do something the other day, and it really, you know, I really had to talk to him. I didn't whoop him. I didn't beat him. I said, man, boys don't do their shirts like that. That's what the girl does. You are a boy. So even though I said it, and he did it again. I said, come here, and I took down. You don't do everything that your sister does because she's the girl. You're a boy. Thing number two. But if I don't start putting that into his head, and I talk to his mom and dad, but it's all the same. Take this call. I enjoyed you guys. I'll talk to y'all later.
Hey, appreciate you, Captain. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
Hey, man, I like that what said, man, because that was old school mothering. You know, when he lived somewhere next door to me and my grandmother. So, you know, we both had that consistent woman that didn't feed us a lot of contradictions because her purpose and her sincerity wasn't selfish. It wasn't a selfish motivation. His mom was the same way. She didn't have selfish motivation. She had a bigger outlook. And that man and woman does not exist anymore as much. They exist, but not as much. Because now, with that consistency, see, that was a consistency of ethics and morality that Said's mom showed him. I witnessed it with my own eyes. Said when she went to work and we was out of school, Said might have been known, or Said might have been told that he was the man of the house. But he knew that meant you were in charge because you're the oldest. But some of these neighbors might tell on you if you out here acting too grown.
Yeah.
So still don't get out of hand. So that's why I laughed when said that because we had some time, man. We had some time. But that, like right now, it's a complete contradiction in the household. I seen one household that this happened in, and probably the same day. And that was the last time I dealt with this woman. The first thing I heard her say to her son was, he was the man of the house, the oldest son. And I'm gonna tell you how coincidental this is, because I seen this man yesterday when I was walking right before I got hit. I seen this guy and I was like, that goes a little deep. So this woman, she told her son he was the man of the house. He just like his daddy, he bossy, he controlling. So I seen why he was controlling. Said the same thing Pastor Neil thought. Every time a man came around, he thought that man was just coming to do something.
Yeah, yeah.
So what I said, well, I'm gonna come over early. She invited me over for dinner. I'm cooking some fish and fries. I want to see if you come over. Yeah, okay, I'll come over. So he come in the house and he whining, Mama, I'm hungry, Mama, I'm hungry. And she made the comment, D, you the big brother, you supposed to be the man of the house. You up here acting like a baby. Your little brother cool. It's gonna be finished in a minute, it's gonna be finished. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, I remember when I was that age. Let me try to have a conversation with him. I asked him, do he like wrestling or whatever? He looking at me like, man, quit the short talk. I know what you over here for. So that let me know that, you know, he pretty much did think he was the man of the house. He had some kind of responsibility and knowledge. So then he was still hungry. Came time to eat. First batch of fish dropped. She tell me, Rico, come on. I said, wait a minute. Go ahead and feed them. I'll get some on the next batch. No. You go ahead and eat first. I'll feed them next. So she was trying to impress me, but then she had this mentality that the man's supposed to eat first. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not your man. That's the second mistake I seen. So then the third one is that when the nighttime came, I knew they heard what was going on. The first thing that came to my mind is, wait a minute, this is too loud. Second of all, I might not be the only dude she's doing this with. So one of the boys got up and went to the restroom, and I knew then he heard it. He don't like that. That's the reason why he got a bad attitude. He tired of dudes coming around trying to do that. Yeah, so I told her, I was like, look, from now on, I'll come over when your son's ain't there. She told me that he had to understand that this was her house. She paid the bills, and she had needs, and she was grown. Well, wait a minute. He the man of the house. This was earlier today. You said he was the man of the house. And I'm thinking to myself, man, where is the respect all the way around? It was supposed to be a lot more respect. Even though she was wrong for telling him he was the man of the house, she still expected him to understand that she was grown and it was her house and she do what she want to do. Regardless, and come to find out, I wasn't the only man coming around. It was exactly what I expected. So I was like, man, he hearing this from other dudes. It ain't the same.
Exactly.
It ain't the same.
Not the same. Leonard, what's on your heart? I'm going to still come to you next. Leonard, you there?
I like that.
Okay. Leonard, your mic, your phone is very, very low.
I like that story that Rico just told. Because one, it shows what happens when things are out of order.
Yes.
And ain't nothing you're going to be able to do to make them, to force it. Now, you don't told him he the man, but what about that other man coming by the house? That's what a woman don't understand and don't know. Now, all of a sudden, you want to change the rules because you got these. See, men don't operate like that. We don't operate like that at all. And one, you put that young boy in a terrible position. And when he really becomes a man, then he's going to be questioning things about himself.
Yep, exactly.
So we have to be there. Because I learned when mothers now are bringing other women around that dress like men and pretending to be men, and you got actual men in your house.
Wow. Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Neil, what's on your heart, brother?
So there's a boy more men than that woman. You heard?
Exactly. Minister Neil, what's on your heart?
I mean, one of the things that I tell people that one reason why I think I shy away from hearing when I hear women say that now, like Rico said earlier, and just what even what Leonard just said. They said something that was very profound. Is that they're introducing these kids to a lifestyle that they don't want to have, and that's what's happening. And what one thing I love about my mother, and I just speak for her. She never wanted to be my daddy, and I thank God that I had a grandfather who actually interceded that, and he actually raised us to be men. But at the same token, she never said that. Even when she was angry with my father, she never said she never put on his hat. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And what happens a lot of, and even the respect, when my mother, how it is. You used to joke with me about how when she called her and things like that nature, how much respect I have for her. And I tell people, I says, we have lost that. Not so much of the things that we've not been taught. It's there because, like Rico said, and even Leonard made alluded to it again. When you start introducing these different behaviors about my needs, that child don't need to know about your needs. That ain't none of his business. You his mother.
Yeah.
What male child wants you to be telling him about your needs? Like he actually cares. That's not what he's thinking. He's thinking about, here's a joke over here that's no good, and all he doing is slide through here, and then he hear the young brothers out there talking how they talk about women. And guess what? He looking at his mother. He probably said, that man looking at my mother the same way these guys look at them women. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
So you giving this man, you giving this young fella all this at one time to obtain, and then you'll sit back and say you the man of the house. You it was a contradiction, but you're lying. You flat out lying because he's not the man of the house. Because you and I both know you don't see him really as a man. You see him as a babysitter. Call it for what it is.
Yeah,
absolutely. You call him. You here for him. He won't be the cook one day. He gonna be the maid one day, and he gonna be the babysitter another day. It might be in all 3 days. It might be in all three in one day. And my point I'm making is that we have to sit back and stop introducing our lifestyle to these children. Because then when they get older, it's perpetrated on their children. You see what I'm saying? Then it's going down the line. That's why I keep hearing one thing I keep hearing is it has stopped. It's not, they don't do that anymore. And one of the things I heard Rico say that was really interesting, he said it doesn't exist. When something goes out of existence, it means there's no more. It stopped. We got to go, and that's why I say we don't need to go back to it. It's already here. It's to the point that we need to embrace it and bring it, and we need to conscious enough the same crap we out here doing. Just like it is when Leonard just said something about you got girls out here dressing like they boys. You can play stunt double all you want. You can never be me.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
I don't care what you say. I don't care how you try to trick yourself. I don't care how many pills you take. I don't care what you step, tuck, cut, design, whatever. I always tell people one thing and one thing only. Your blood type tells me who you are. Yeah. We can take a gender test right now with all three of us and 100 other folks. And they're going to say, for every card that has number 10 on it, stand up. Guess what? Every man going to stand up because guess what? You a man. So you can lie to them kids if you want and tell them kids, that's Uncle so-and-so. Well, Uncle so-and-so right here tied down her equipment, and that's it. I'm telling you. Our biggest problem is that we are lying to these kids. We're not deceiving them. We are flat out lying to them.
Yeah.
We need to stop it.
Exactly. Let's go to Cedric before we get out of here. Cedric, what's on your heart, brother?
Yeah, and you know what? That's where there's a confusion with that. There's a confusion with that. I mean, and I was telling my wife a while back. I got two young sons, two Johnny come lately, as I'll say, and they very young. And we born in Walmart up here one day. And I see two dudes standing out here that's you know, in public. You know, this was kind of one of those things. If it was going on back when I was growing up, it was kind of heated. You had very few, but I mean now it's kind of like a commonplace thing. And I said, man, how do you explain to your 4-year-old and your 6-year-old that this just ain't right? I don't care what nobody say. This ain't right.
Yeah.
This ain't right. This ain't what I want you to be a part of, because this is not right. Yeah, so I mean, it's just, I mean, it is a state of confusion, and I think I was saying about Mayor Rico, he got a lot of dogs, a lot of pit bulls, and he is say purebred, and I was thinking about one time I had a dog, and my cousin came by and said, "Man, that's a good looking dog. What kind is it?" And I said, "That's a pit bull, and he mixed with a child." He said, "Man, how can you want to just get a dog that's pure breed?" And I think sometimes that's a lot of the problem is the breeding practice that we have. We don't look at the quality of what we put in versus what that's going to turn out to be. You know, and that was one of the craziest dogs I ever had because the breed was crossed up. You know, the pit bull had this mentality and the child had this mentality, and it just made it kind of crazy. So, you know, even with the breeding practice, if you ain't paying no attention to what you're putting you into, you know, you gotta be careful what's gonna come out of that.
Exactly.
I mean, if you putting a smart mind into foolishness or good qualities into bad qualities, you know, there's no telling how this breed is gonna turn out. You know, so like that go back to, like I said, breeding practice and knowing what you're dealing with. Like you were saying, he's sitting there looking at this end like, okay, wait a minute now. I'm tying up with this right here. She confusing her kids, so I'm going to get over in this confusion. In a minute, we just gonna have a big mess. So you know what I'm saying? That too is part of the cycle that we have to break. Okay, just because she got a nice figure and a good looking face, let me see what that mind is. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to bring this to the table, and she over here with all this same old confusion. I mean, in a minute, we're gonna have a big nothing here. You know what I'm saying? A big old crazy. We're gonna have a big crazy situation right here. But like I said, I think that's a lot of it too. Is just breeding practice. You know, I mean, you have to learn not to just deal with a person because of what you see, but you better learn what you actually going off into, because you can have the best intentions. But if you got somebody that's going a total different direction than what you are, then like I said, you still not gonna have, you know, you're not gonna raise a thoroughbred, breed a thoroughbred with a glue horse.
Exactly. Listen, y'all, I'm looking at the clock, man. It is now 10:05. Time for us to get out of here for the day. It's been a great broadcast, man. Definitely enjoyed this broadcast today. Leonard, what's going on at 3 o'clock today?
If you did not get a chance to hear this show in its entirety, log on to www.PKMediagroup.com at 3 o'clock p.m.
Good deal. Minister Neil, can I get you the prayers out today, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Oh, blessed, gracious, and wonderful Father, we come to you at this time to pause to say thank you, Lord. We're pausing to say thank you for our lives. We're pausing to say thank you, Lord, for our being, for our understanding of your word and understanding of your power and understanding of your grace that have come down from heaven on this day that you have given of life one more time. Lord, we know it's something that we do not deserve. We know it's something that we have not earned. But we ask you right in the name of Jesus, Lord, to look down on us and to keep us, Lord, and hold us close to you and keep us with you, Lord. We ask you right now to look down on these brothers in their homes, Father God, and their families, Father God, and strengthen them in your word and strengthen them in your light, Lord. We ask you right now in the name of Jesus, just continue to strengthen us and continue to keep us in your will and in your way. Lord, we thank you, Lord, for all that you have done and what you continue to do. We know, Lord, there's nothing that we can do without you. The scripture has already been written. It says 4 in Philippians and 13. It tells us we can do all things to strengthen us. So right now, Lord, we just pause and we just want to say thank you right now, Lord. And thank you for all that you will and can and continue to do for us. And Lord, we ask you right now to look down on our land, Father God. In the civil unrest that's going on, Father God. We ask you right in the name of Jesus. Just strengthen us and to keep us. And Lord, when it's yours to call and for us to answer, Lord, we pray that you lift up to your king. You crown each and every one of us in the sweet name of my King. I call him the King, my Savior. King Jesus, I call him. In his name, we come in. Amen, amen, amen.
Amen.
Hey, look here. I know you hating this fam. You here? I just want to let you know. We are alumni proud over here, baby. We are alumni proud. This is how we walk around here in Atlanta, Georgia. We are alumni proud, baby. Alumni proud.
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you what you need to do, man. Take that thing off your face, man. Get you a Pittsburgh Steelers one, man. Get you one that's worth something.
Hey, look, I can't wear no throw up on my face right now. I'm like, this shit right here. This shit right here, baby. Alumni proud, HBCU, baby. Strong,
Man,
baby.
you a Pittsburgh Steelers, man. How you ain't gonna represent us, man?
I'm a FAMU Rattler first, baby. It trumps all.
Good deal. I'm looking at the clock, y'all. It's 2:08. It's 10:08. 2:08. Wow. 10:08. Time for us to get out of here for today, man. This has been a great broadcast. I hope that something that was said today could pierce your heart in some kind of way. And if you don't take nothing else, stop telling the young man. Well, first and foremost, stop saying that you're the man and the woman of the house. Stop saying it. Please stop saying that. Don't say you're the man and the woman of the house. You can't be both. You gotta be what you are. You gotta be what you are. And stop telling the young men, the young teenagers or whatever the case, that they're the man of the house. You're putting unfair responsibilities on them that they're not ready for. Please stop doing that. They're not ready for that. They're not ready to be the man of the house. Let them be who they are. Let them be who they are. They have time to be the man of the house, and it's not right now. It's not right now. But listen, 10, we're about to get out of here for today. You're about to exit the morning glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. If we shine some of this light from the morning glow, take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light still shine. Mr. Neil.
Yeah. Oh, 6:30, we're gonna talk about the Breonna Taylor situation. So y'all get ready.
Okay.
We're gonna, hey, if y'all get a chance, man, y'all come on back on, man, because I would love to hear everybody input because I think that it's something that needs to be addressed. And we're gonna address this judicial system and why this voting is so important because this is something that can be avoided as well. Because we can vote. So a lot of these state attorney generals are voted in. So guess what? We can vote them out. So again, once again, I definitely like to hear y'all input tonight. We're gonna talk about that Breonna Taylor situation. God bless y'all.
6:30, 8 o'clock, right?
Yes, sir.
Good deal. Yes, sir.
Hey, Raheem, let me tell everybody thank you that showed up yesterday too, man. Donald and Leonard and everybody that called in from the show yesterday, man. I wanted to say this earlier. I appreciate that, man, and we going on with part 2 with that because that topic was pretty deep. And tune in to Minister Leonard tonight because Mr. Neil called. I think I'm gonna make sure I tune in and catch that up myself.
Y'all have a great day. Love you all, and take an opportunity if you get a chance. Love someone else. You just might find some love in return. Y'all be blessed.